for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. What's up? It's that boy Coach Malachi Williams in the building. We back. New Media Today USA Boxing, man. We back. We are back. Yes, sir. Good Tuesday today. Today is a good Tuesday, man. We got Rick Glaser coming in today. He's gonna pop up probably in the next 10 minutes or so. And we're gonna talk about these pay-per-view numbers. These Lewis King Kong Ortiz pay-per-view numbers. I have receipts that I can show you guys why I predicted that this was going to happen. I was damn near right. I think I said like it might be 20, 30,000 the most. You know what I mean? That was just a guesstimation on my behalf, but you know, they're not going to release those numbers. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe hit the like button. I told you we'll have a good show today, man. So they're not going to release the numbers. So basically what's going on, guys, is this. When a pay-per-view event is a success, according to the liking of the company, they release the numbers. They'll tell you, this guy's a star. He did this, he did that. When the pay-per-view number is not a success, you don't hear nothing about it. I think everybody gets that. Because Floyd Mayweather always brag about how many pay-per-view numbers he's done. I did this, I broke the pay-per-view records. And somebody had to let him know that. Showtime let him know. They always report the numbers. With Fox, they have a successful pay-per-view. They'll always report the numbers. When they report the numbers, it did good. When they don't report the numbers, it didn't do well. So, so it is what it is. But we got Rick Glaser coming on, man. Let's give everybody in the chat a round of applause. Yeah, man. Hope I don't sound too loud. Yeah, man. And tomorrow we're going to have a fire show. I'm not even going to be playing. Well, today we're going to have a fire show. We already know that. But tomorrow we definitely going to have a fire show. Tomorrow, car ain't got no route tomorrow. Anyways, shout out to Slim Reaper. Let's go ahead and do this. Get this out of the way, man. Because, once Rick pop in, if you send a super chat, I would not stop. Stop the show. You know what I mean? I just want to let you know that. But if you send a super chat, I will acknowledge it. Shout out to Slim Reaper. I'll acknowledge it later. Shout out to Slim Reaper. Shout out to Rob Rib Shows. Shout out to Bernard Burton. Salute the teach in the building. What's going on, fam? Shout out to the Queen Love Green Eyes Pete. Let's see. Shout out to Charles N. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Little Green Eyes. Thank you so much, Queen. Shout out to Jay Styles. Shout out to Matador. Shout out to James Brown. What's going on, fam? Halim in the building from the UK. Salute to Thomas Jones. Salute to the Queen. Bless 365. How you doing, Queen? Shout out to, let's see. Shout out to the Queen, Lisa Bells. Shout out to, who else we have in the building? Shout out to Knockdown 305 with the Lick Reed. Salute to Paul Evans. Salute to Ava as well. Shout out to my brother Diallo Huggy Bear in the building. Shout out to Danny. Danny, what's going on, fam? Let's see. Shout out to let's see, Mr. 420. What's going on, man? Mr. 420. Shout out to my brother, man, Huggy Bear. For dropping that $2. Bam, super chat on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Diallo say, don't meet me there, beat me there. Yeah, man. We've been saying, hey, that's that's an old saying. That's an old saying down here in Florida, man. Don't meet me there, beat me there. They probably say that everywhere too, though, to be fair. But I've been saying that since I was like a kid. I used to hear the OG say that. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Shout out to Mizzy Mike. Shout out to, let's see, Rob Rib Shows. Let's see what else we have in the building. Thomas Cruz. Let's see. Look, I'm looking at the same names. Shout out to Luis. Shout out to Luis. Luis in the building. Valenzuela. What's going on, fam? Shout out to Eastside Leak. Eastside. Haven't seen you in a minute, fam. Shout out to Darvin Renee. Shout out to Chin Smoke. Shout out to Light Walker. Shout out to DC Nardo with the Lick Reed. Let's see, man. I think we got everybody. Shout out to Mark Nash in the building. Let's see. Shout out to Bond Scott. Take this out my pocket. Take this phone out my pocket. Bond Scott, hold on, fam. Let me see. I got to take the phone out my pocket. Hold on, guys. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Let me see. I want to make sure I have everything set up. Want to make sure I have everything set up. Hold on. There we go. So now that's set up. That's good. Shout out to Alex. What's going on, fam?
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Halim in the building. Shout out to Carl Hansen. Salute to Luis. What's going on, fam?
Hey,
Smile back if you're ugly. Shout out to Cyrus.
Hey,
Shout out to Big Ronald Finkley, Drumming for Life. Ali Muhammad. Jamie Nieto. Let's see. Ahmed, what's going on, brother? Ahmed, George H, Jay Styles. Somebody's at my doorbell. Hold on, guys. Jay Styles. Okay, that's on UPS. And I think that's it. Hold on, guys. We got Rick Glaser just popped up in. He's a little early. According to Rick Glaser, guys, we're gonna get right into this. Luis Ortiz and Charles Martin did less than 25,000 pay-per-view buys. These are horrible numbers that you guys know, but it did not take a rocket scientist to figure this out, that the pay-per-view would flop. Because of these PBC fighters, guys, they want to get paid a boatload of money to fight each other. Al Haymon cannot guarantee their overinflated purses, so he has to put everything on pay-per-view now. This is exactly what's going on. Let's bring in Rick Glaser right now, guys. Rick Glaser is here, guys. Without further ado, let's give him a round of applause. Rick Glaser in the building. Slick Rick in the house. Rick, what's up, baby? How you feeling?
It's 6 degrees in Buffalo. It's snowing out, COVID conditions. I'm staying put inside our palace. It's not a palace. It's a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo, but it's great for my wife and I, my lovely wife and I. So it's all about you today. What's up?
Hey man, hey man, I want me, man. I want to get to these numbers, man. I want to know what you think about them. It was predictable. But for people who don't know who you are, just please introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, Rick.
I just observed or celebrated 31 years in boxing on January 1st. Mm-hmm. I'm an international agent, broker, and consultant. My website is, my business name is glazerboxing.com. That's my website. Mm-hmm. And I provide, I'm a provider of services worldwide to the professional boxing industry, negotiations, everything, just top to bottom. Consultant to some of the major promoters throughout the world. Mostly a confidential consultant, but it's all good. Enjoying my life in boxing.
Okay. I'm gonna get right to it, Rick. I'm not gonna play with it. How did you find out about the numbers? Ortiz versus Charles Martin.
I have a source that is an attorney in the TV business he's located in LA, and he's been my source since the Mayweather Gatti fight, which was the summer of 2004, and he's been my source ever since. Okay. He was at one time a executive at a network, and then he's a lawyer by trade, so he brokers deals in that business, including sponsorship deals, everything, advertising deals, everything. So that's what he does. He's not a boxing guy, he's a TV guy.
Okay.
Even though he's a big boxing fan, by the way.
Now, I know this is going to sound crazy, but why do you think Fox, PBC, did not release the King Kong Luis Ortiz versus Charles I Walk the Earth Like a God Martin numbers?
Because the only time people ever release numbers if they're great. In other words, like they're saying Canelo did over 800,000 or I guess maybe that was Showtime, but whatever. They only release them when they're great. When they're a flop, they never release them. They like slither away like, oh my God, we can't put this out there. It embarrasses himself, especially when you're guaranteeing a guy like Canelo 40 million and a guy like Plant 10 million. I mean, those guys are so overpriced. Canelo should have got 30 and Plant should have got about 6 million, at the most. And you know what? I mean, Al Haymon's desperate to stay in business and in the sense of be a player. And that's how he was a player. He threw around all that money and it came back to bite him again.
So, I don't want to get into the semantics of, I know when they got their money from Waddell and Reed and stuff like that, and whoever else they may have gotten money from to fund the PBC. When they first started, everything was free paper, not free, but they talked about free fights. I'm looking at the old 2015 commercials, Rick, when they was talking about the fights were free.
Matter of fact, I just put a T-shirt up, a picture of a T-shirt up for sale. It was on somebody sent it to me. It was on eBay. I've never been on eBay in my life. Yeah, I barely knew what it was. But anyway, to make a long story short, what did happen was that a guy sent me a T-shirt and it said "free boxing" and PVC and all that other stuff. So that was then, this is now. It's a long way from free boxing these days.
How did, for people who may not know, how did the PBC get their fighters? Like, how did they get their fighters?
Well, they when he got the 550, when Al Haymon got the 550 million from Waddell Reed, he overpaid every fighter, and he made extraordinary guarantees. Like one particular fighter that I know of was talking to Top Rank, and he was expected to get like 750 a fight, and Haymon came along, was paying him $2.5 million for the same fight. Oh, so yeah. There's your answer.
What about I've heard a lot of those fighters, they were under contracts or whatever with Golden Boy. Do you know anything about that?
What happened was they were under contract with Golden Boy. Richard Schaefer reputedly, supposedly, and allegedly let them intentionally conspire at Al Haymon. And then he and Astor split. Astor sued him because all the fighters left to go with Haymon, and all that kind of stuff. So what happened was he sued and he got a $40 million. Astor got a $40 million settlement out of court from Haymon for Schaefer, because Haymon was about to get sued too as a co-conspirator. But that the $40 million put the brakes on everything.
Okay, so. I have no idea.
40 million came from the Waddell Reed money, by the way.
Right. I have no idea, Rick, I don't try to get into the purses, but what amount of money that Luis Ortiz might have been asking for and Charles Martin might have been asking for. But to me and a lot of the fans, we know that was not a pay-per-view fight. As you said before, even on Twitter, pay-per-view was for big mega fights. Pay-per-view were events. Pay-per-view, people used to throw fight parties. Now, what happens when you throw, non-pay-per-view fights on?
I remember the days before emails and everything else like that, when there was a pay-per-view boxing party. The people used to send you out invitations in the mail, like it was a wedding, for Christ's sakes. It was such a big deal because I'm 63, right. So we're talking about. Quote, back in the 90s. And, it was a big deal back then. Or they call you up 3 weeks before. Hey, I'm going to buy the pay-per-view. You bring the pizza. You bring the chicken. You bring the pizza, or you bring the chicken wings or something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody brought something and you had a big party. Right. And when the fights were over, you were still partying for a few hours. And it's just a different ball game today. I mean, they're putting such garbage on pay-per-view. You're embarrassed. I mean, it's embarrassing. I have a 30-year-old nephew and a 31-year-old nephew, and they're both big boxing fans, and partly because of me. And they'll call me up and say, "Rick, this is pay-per-view. I've never even heard of these two clowns." I mean, that's what you get. Or the other one is they know who they are, and they'll say, "Why is this on pay-per-view? I don't get it." Well, neither do people in the business to get it. So, here's my problem with PBC and Al Haymon as it stands today. Forget about how he blew up 550 million. That was then. That's history now. Okay, even though he still owes it, that's that's his business. What I'm saying is, why doesn't this man take the 40 best fighters he has, the 50 best fighters he has, like Top Rank, gears operation down to certain fighters and make them stars? Right. Why are we watching such crap that nobody wants to see? It doesn't make any sense. He's got so many fights. You look at those preliminary bouts on the like the Ortiz show that night. They had the preliminary bouts on what was a regular Fox. Half those fighters aren't going anywhere. What is the purpose? Okay, you can't build an organization around bums. You got to build an organization around quality, and a lot of those guys are quality. Yes, Frank Martin, the main event, was quality, but those guys in the 6s and 8s underneath, I mean, that's garbage. They're going nowhere. So my point is, you need a hardcore boxing guy to say, hey, this guy's nothing. We don't need him. This guy's going someplace. This guy, and everybody around Haymon's a yes man. They got their lips attached to Al's ass, and they don't say, hey Rick, I'm sorry, hey Al, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. This guy can't fight. This guy can fight. I was around Don King for 13 years. I did that for Don, and it worked very well. Okay, but here's a situation that they just don't have that. They don't have that core boxing substance in that organization. Everybody's too obsessed with kissing Al's ass.
So, for those who may feel like that you're hating on the PBC, he's a hater. Why you're listening to this guy? What would you have to say? What would you have to say to that? To those?
It's facts. There's nothing. If hating is like saying, I don't like the guy. Why don't you like the guy? I just don't like him. That's hating. Okay, I'm just stating facts. There, you can see the facts.
Right.
If you can't, if in other words, was that pay-per-view? Was that supposed to be pay-per-view? No, that's barely free TV. That fight.
Right.
I mean, come on. Charles Martin and Lewis. One guy is 52, and one guy won the heavyweight championship of the world. Never landed a telling blow. The guy got injured early on. Okay, and then he went out with a whimper. With never landed a telling blow against Charles.
Gerald Watson.
Against
Gerald
Joshua.
Watson. Oh, Joshua.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua never landed a telling blow, and he went out. He never landed a telling blow in 2 world title fights, but became world champ. Think about that.
Yeah, that is true. What is I want to ask you a question. What is the thought process behind when a company decides to put a fight on pay-per-view? Like, what's the thought process?
Well, let's go by what it's supposed to be, and let's go by how PBC is doing it. Okay, the biggest and the best fights go on pay-per-view. Crawford and Porter was barely pay-per-view. Okay, barely. Okay, it was because it was the best fighter Crawford's fought as a welterweight, number one. Okay, and number two, he's an undefeated polarizing champion. In other words, polarizing with his punches. Not a polarizing figure. But what I'm saying is that's barely pay-per-view. Fury Wilder, okay, 1, 2, and 3 was pay-per-view. Not a question. Okay. Canelo versus Plant, barely pay-per-view. If Plant wasn't an undefeated champion, it wasn't pay-per-view. If he was just a challenger, it wouldn't have been pay-per-view. But it was for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world and all that stuff. So it was more or less the bluster around the fight that made it pay-per-view. Okay? And that's barely pay-per-view. Like I said, Crawford and Porter was barely pay-per-view. There's other garbage. I mean, when was the last time we've ever had a fight on national TV? Forget about pay-per-view. Let's not go to, you're paying for it now. On national TV, like on HBO or Showtime, HBO back in the day, or HBO, where both guys lost their prior fight, okay? And not only did both guys, one's been inactive for 2.5 years. It's been unheard of. And here, the public that wants to watch this stuff is being forced to pay for it. This should be on free Showtime or free Fox. Free Fox. I'm sorry. Free Fox. I'm sorry.
So if a fighter wants a boatload of money, let's say someone like a Keith Thurman, hey man, I remember him saying publicly that when Crawford was with Top Rank, hey, I want to get paid $10 million. Bob Ammer's being cheap. Seen a whole lot of content creators attacking Bob.
Bob wasn't cheap. Bob didn't come back with an offer because here's why. When you start out 3.5 times what the fight's worth $3 million. When you start out with 10 million, you're giving a message. I don't want the fight. Your pricing is called pricing yourself out. So they don't even come back with a negotiation. Okay, well, you're wasting your time. Okay, the guy has spoken. He doesn't want the fight. Now, if he would have said $5 million and you want to pay 3, okay, 40% less, maybe the top rate goes to 3.5. But that's a negotiation. When you start out at 10 million for a $3 or $3.5 million fight, you're just simply saying, "Hey, I don't want the fight. It's my way of getting out of this situation."
Right. So I wonder. I know you probably don't know, but I wonder if he's getting paid $10 million to fight Mario Barrios on pay-per-view on February.
He's lucky if he gets $1 million to $1.5 million.
Mario, so basically the fighters, when they want a lot of money, Al says, "Hey, listen, whatever we was guaranteeing you back in 2015, 2016, that yesterday's price is no longer today's price."
No,
How
they just
did that work?
no, they just fight a lot less. That's why his guys only fight one guy hasn't fought in 2 years as a champ. Gary Russell. There's another guy that hasn't fought in over a year. He's got a champ. I can't remember who it is off the top of my head, but he's got like several guys that haven't fought in a long time. He just puts them on the bench and uses them, infrequently, and that's how he operates. I mean, what can you say?
Okay, so if the fighter wants too much money, he said, "Okay, yeah, you'll get your money, but you're not gonna be fighting 3 times a year.
You're not even fighting twice a year. You're fighting once every year. Gary Russell hasn't fought since February 2nd of 2020. Here we are 2 years later, and he's fighting.
I mean, almost 2 years, yeah.
Right, and then he's got that guy. Oh God, I'm trying to think of the champion he's got. Another one, a smaller guy. He hasn't fought in a long time. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them with PBC, and at the most they fight once a year. Okay, I just put a tweet up today. Okay. One guy off the top of my head was 479 fights. He had 339 wins. He had 86 losses. He had 43 draws. His name was Len Wickware. We know he didn't fight for Al Haymon at PBC. Okay. He had 54 fights in 1 year. Okay. We're talking about all-time records here. Yeah, I know the fight game has changed. Don't get me wrong. Okay, and I wasn't even around then. That was that was a long time ago. But that was 80 years ago, whatever. But here's my point. My point is a champion should fight at least twice a year unless he's injured. Okay, that's the only legitimate reason why he shouldn't be able to fight twice a year minimum. Back in the Larry Holmes days, he was fighting 2.5, 3 times a year, and he was heavyweight champ of the world. Oscar De La Hoya fought 4 or 5 times in like '97.
Yeah, he
it's
did.
crazy. I mean, these guys don't fight hardly at all, and then they get lost in between fights. The only time there's any news about these fighters in between fights is that they get arrested, like Broner and Gervonta Davis and these type of guys. So what do we have here? Okay, these guys are just disappearing in between fights. So they've created their own mess. Okay, and they need to undo their mess by fighting more often, taking less money per fight, and being professional fighters again. Okay, here's the reason everybody wants to know why you can't make Spence and Crawford. Okay, because of the fact that people are stealing the signal, the pay-per-view signal. Okay, people are on free stream. Okay, basically speaking, we've caused our own problems. We're not giving people a product that they want to pay for. Okay, and we're in a sad state. Okay, we're in a very sad. The biggest media corporations in the world are backing these promoters. Okay, ESPN, Disney is backing Arum with their shows. Okay, Fox is backing Haymon with a big portion of his shows. CBS Showtime is backing Haymon on his other shows. Okay, the Zone, Eddie Hearn is with the Zone. That's a big media agency, a big media company now. Okay, right. Oscar De La Hoya, same thing with the Zone. So these are the biggest companies in the world and they have the biggest platforms. But what's happening is that we as promoters, people in the business, are not giving people what they want. and they are killing the business. Could you imagine if we were giving the people what they want, how ESPN, Fox, and CBS, respectively, could exploit everything and do mega things and interviews and all the excitement of all the hoopla? Can you imagine the hoopla if Spence and Crawford fought? It's not going to be as big as Mayweather and Pacquiao because they're not as big as Mayweather and Pacquiao, but it would still be huge. We're not giving the people what they want and deserve. Okay, I do not call boxing, people like boxing fans. They're not fans. NFL has fans. They're boxing enthusiasts. Why? They deserve the word enthusiast because they're paying to watch. And when you are paid to watch, you are at a different level than the schmuck who grabs a six-pack and just turns on the TV and watches football on Sundays. It's a different level. Okay, more people talk about boxing on the internet than they do the NFL. And that I find really ironic, but we don't have people buying our product because we're not giving a product they want to buy. They'll talk about it on the internet more than the NFL fans do. But what happens? They are not buying our product because we're not giving them a product that they want. We need to give them a product that people want to purchase. Until that happens, we're going to be a seventh sport. We were a number one sport. It used to be baseball, horse racing, and boxing 100 years ago. We're a seventh sport today.
Will the fighters make the adjustments in your opinion, or will the promoters make the adjustment as it relates to?
No,
hey, listen,
I don't think anybody's making an adjustment. The ignorance on everybody's part is there. If I had a fighter today that was a championship level fighter, okay, and he could fight once a year and make $2.5 million, or twice a year and make $4 million, or make $3.5 million, that he'd be fighting twice a year. Not only because it's $1 million more, because he'll get twice as much exposure and he'll walk into a bigger fight with more buys and pay-per-view and a bigger guarantee because he'll be more well-known and he's in action more and he won't disappear between fights. And if I had a guy who's really had gumption, I'd want him to fight 3 times a year and take $1.5 million a fight. And show you're out there and you want to fight. Look how often Joe Calzaghe fought over in the UK. And he's only been retired since 2008. That guy was fighting 3-4 times a year. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. That's fighters. So these guys aren't fighting. They're talking. They're spending more time on social media than they do in the gym.
You know what I realized, Rick? I've been one of I love Don King. Criticize a lot of his business practices. I'm not going to lie to you, but in today's era, I'm going to say this: I miss Don King because I grew up in that era. And I just feel like in my heart, I could be 1,000% wrong, Rick, but I feel like if Don King was actively promoting strong today, we wouldn't be talking about no Spence Crawford. That fight would have been, we'll probably be on a trilogy match right now.
I believe you to be absolutely correct. I'm very close to Don, as you know. I talk to Don 3 times a week. I'm honored 3 to 4 times a week. I'm honored to talk to Don 3-4 times a week. It's a funny thing every time, even though that from the boxing standpoint, I necessarily don't learn anything from him anymore like I did back in the day. But from the social standpoint and everything, and you know, how to be the best person you can be, I learn that from Don every day. Every time I talk to him, I learn something new from him. He's a great guy, and I've nothing but respect for Don King.
From a stylistic standpoint, what's the difference between? Because I know you know Bob Arum very well, and you know Don King. So what's the difference between the two from a stylistic standpoint? I mean, outside of the obvious, we love Don King's oratorical skills. We love that. But what's just promoting fights, putting good fight cards.
Don always, and I'm not saying anything bad about Don. This is Don's style. Don never let the fighters get bigger than him. And not intentionally anyways, Tyson maybe can become, but that was more accidental. Don puts himself in the forefront of the fighters, where Bob Arum is normally the guy behind the fighter or standing next to the fighter. And I think that's a lot to do with their personalities. Don's obviously got a much bigger ego, where Bob's got a lot of pride. They both talk. I mean, there's no press conference greater than a Bob Arum or Don King press conference when they're talking. Nobody compares to those guys. They're like, as a reporter once told me years ago, I said, yeah, you're coming or you're going. He says, has Arum started talking yet? He says, no. He says that I'm coming. So that was he was saying is, if he already talked, I'm leaving.
Oh man, so where do you see pay-per-view going at? If no one is making the adjustment, if the fighters are saying, hey, I want a boatload of money to fight,
I can't tell you what Haymon's gonna do, because somebody once asked me, what do you think somebody's thinking? And the person has a sick, demented mind. And I said to the guy, how do I know what a sick, demented person is thinking?
Right.
Okay. So what Haymon is doing is non-boxing proper, where he's putting garbage on pay-per-view. So I don't know where he goes from here with these astonishing low numbers. I don't know. By the way, when I said it, I never said it did. There was a misunderstanding on the internet with people saying I said it did 25,000. I said it did under 25,000.
Right.
Okay, yeah, so it didn't do 25,000.
Yeah, that's what I said. It did less than 25,000. I said
it did less than 25,000. Yes, but it's the kind of situation where I don't know where they go from here. I know Arum's only doing the best fights on pay-per-view he could put, the best fights. Oscar's not doing any pay-per-view, and Haymon's the only other. Hearn's not doing pay-per-view. He's doing the streaming with his own. I don't know. Haymon's almost one man on an island, because I don't know how many shows. Arum did 1.5 shows in the last 12 months that were pay-per-view. One of them was with Fury and Wilder, because he had Fury with Haymon, and the other one was the Crawford fight.
Right.
Which was the Crawford fight. So other than that, he's not doing really pay-per-view anymore. The only guy doing pay-per-view is Haymon.
So if the pay-per-view numbers are low, let's say someone like a King Kong, Ortiz, Charles Martin, I don't know what their guarantee was. I don't know that. We probably have no idea of knowing that. But if those pay-per-view numbers are low, how does it affect the fighters?
I don't think he'll be looking to put King Kong on pay-per-view again as a main event, as an A side. Maybe if he fought Andy Ruiz and he was the B side, maybe he would do it. I don't know that. But I think that he's going to have to make some adjustments where these fighters are going to have to get less guarantees and a percentage of the override over so many homes, or so much profit, something, because his model's not working. Clearly not working.
So for people who may not know, break down the pay-per-view structure. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that. So let's say we hear on the internet all the time, well, this fighter's getting paid $20 million and he's going to get 80% of the pay-per-view, and he's and the other guy's going to get 20%. Break that down, because a lot of people think that if a fighter gets paid a certain amount of money, he's going to get all of his money, right? And he's going to get 80% of the pay-per-view. That means that, if the pay-per-view does 100,000 or 200,000,
first of all, the pay-per-view now is between 55 and 60% to the promoter, and the rest of it goes to the TV outlets and the distributors and the satellite and all that kind of stuff. So right off the bat, if you did $100 million in gross, the best the promoter can get back is $60 million right off the bat. Okay. So that's one issue. That's a big mistake people make when these I call them internet mathematicians. So internet accountants, whatever. Okay,
that's what I call them.
Right. So that's one problem. The second thing is the fighters' guarantees are too big, so they need to cut back on the guarantees and work on a percentage where they get like $8 a home over let's say, let's use a figure, 400,000 or something like that for a particular show, or 800,000 for another show, whatever it is. But they need something has to give here to make these shows successful. If Haymon's going to continue doing pay-per-view.
So you say the promoter pay-per-view numbers, the promoter take like 55 to 60%?
And he gets a maximum of 60%.
Okay.
I've heard some of the fights like Mayweather Pacquiao was like 70%, but that's rare. I mean, come on, that already happened 7 years ago. It hasn't happened since.
Haven't
any
happened
fight
since.
like that. So,
and what happens to the rest? Let's say the promoter takes. Let's say on the promoter. Me and you doing.
Well, he's got to pay. He's got about a $4 million. Not even counting what the fighters get. You got about and a big pay-per-view, a big one, like one of those $80 ones. Well, and the fighters are getting millions of dollars. You got $3-4 million in miscellaneous costs. The undercard, the employees you got to dedicate to the show, the additional staff, the insurance is astronomical for pay-per-view. Okay, and I'm not talking about the health insurance for the fighters. In case the transmission goes down, you got to pay everybody, and nobody saw the pay-per-view. So you got a lot of high costs there. It's about $4 million for between the undercard on a normal show and the other operating costs. So then you got to pay the fighter. Just to give you an idea, okay, a rough idea. So the combination purse for, let's go by Wilder Fury 2. The combination purses were about let's see, 26.5. Let's see, so $53 million right there, and let's say another $4 million. They had $57 million in overhead right there. So think about that.
Which fight was that?
What's that?
Which fight was that you're talking about?
Wilder Fury 2.
Oh, the second one, okay.
Yeah. I don't know what the percentages were for the second one. I know obviously Fury would get more because he won, but I don't know what the exact percentages were. I never looked into it. So let's go by the second fight. Okay, so it did 875,000 homes. If it returned 60% to the promoter, they got 17 million at the gate. Big foreign TV because of Fury's from the UK. Okay, it barely made a profit. I mean, $57 million is a lot of money to overcome.
Right.
Believe me. And if it did, and let's say it did 875,000 homes at $80 a piece. So you take $80 and you take 60, that's $48 a home. Okay, so $48 a home, 800,000 homes. That's about 34 million bucks in round figures. So you got the gate is $51 million, and the sponsors, and you got the foreign, and you got the bar network in the United States. So where did the money come from? The money was generated by Fury because he is from the UK. If both fighters were American, it wouldn't have generated that big profit over there to make a profit for the show.
Why do you feel that all right, so we have you gave us a lot. We have the Crawford, not the Crawford, but I hear Tim Smith, the guy. Who is Tim Smith over there with the PBC? Because he was on the PBC podcast.
I don't know, they call him the vice president of communications. If he was communicating for me, I'd be bankrupt and out of business.
Why is that? Why is that?
He comes up with stupid statements. I mean, it was a crazy statements he came up with. He says, "Oh, well, Crawford wants too much. We don't want to insult him. Make him the offer. If he turns it down, he turns it down. Spence doesn't want the fight in reality.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
He doesn't want
that's the problem.
It's obvious.
Okay, then he says, well, we can't afford to put the fight on because it's not going to, because people are going to steal the signal. You don't say that. You don't downgrade your customers. Okay, I mean, it was a ridiculous statement to make. Like I said, I'm glad he's not communicating for me with these public statements.
Why do you think he said that? Like, well, Crawford's going to want too much money in one breath, but then the next breath,
because it's another camouflage. Why Spence doesn't want to because Spence doesn't want to fight, so they're using all kinds of excuses. Spence would get the floor mopped up with him. Crawford would destroy. Crawford is so much faster. He grew into 47. He's a big, strong guy at 47. He's much faster. He's power punches. He switches. He punches with both hands. He throws great uppercuts. Earl leans in. Another thing about Earl now is he doesn't pivot like he used to. His legs are not what they used to since the accident. Now he's going to come back from that, the car accident I referred to. Now he's going to come back after the eye injury. The guy's going to be gun shy as hell. You know, it may not come out with Ugas because Ugas isn't that offensive, but that doesn't look good to me.
So basically, this guy said, you know, I think what made me intrigued about that particular interview, not interview, but what he said on the PBC podcast, he admitted that, hey, Crawford's going to want too much money, but we haven't made him an offer. So if you haven't made him an offer, and then he said that we don't know what he wants, how can you say he's going to want too much money? But one, you didn't make him an offer, and two, you said you don't know what he wants.
Because he got $6 million to fight. Here's the reason why. Because Arum paid him $6 million to fight Porter, so he's going to want $10, $12 million to fight this guy, and there's not that much money available. We know that. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay, but make a fucking offer. Okay, let him turn the fight down. You're now showing everybody that Spence doesn't really want the fight by not making him an offer because they're afraid that they're going to make him a low offer. He's going to accept it because he knows he's going to win. And then Spence is there holding his dick. And they don't want to do that. That's going to be a public embarrassment. So they're caught between a rock and a hard place. So they put the great communicator out here, the Spin King, Tim there, Smith, who I happen to like personally, but that doesn't mean he's doing a great job. I mean, he got caught in so many bumbles in that interview. It was frightening. I listened to it. I go, I was just like this. Watch. Oh my God, I couldn't even believe what he just said. Like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I caught it too. Now, I'm just going to clarify the record. Whether you believe Spence would lose to Crawford or Spence would beat Crawford, that's just a matter of our opinions. You know what I mean? But you know, I know how I will feel about it. I would love to see the fight. But the crazy part about me is if Tim Smith feels that the fans not going to pay for the fight, they're going to steal the fight. Okay, well, are they not going to steal Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman? If you felt like fans not paying for it,
nobody wants that for free. Nobody's going to steal that fight. That's like going to a dollar store and stealing.
Yeah, so I mean, okay, Ortiz Martin did less than 25,000. That was my prediction. How does it affect the company? Did they lose any money? I know you're not in their pockets, but
they have absolutely lost money. I don't know how much because I'm not doing their accounting for them, but the show had to cost them between the talent and everything else $3.5 to $4 million. If you let's go low, let's say $3 million all total and all the expenses and stuff would pay associated with the pay-per-view. So let's go $3 million. So let's say they got a 60% deal on it, where they retain 60% of the profits of the gross handle. Okay, so $60 times, and let's work with 25 because that's an easy number to work with. Okay, so $60, no, $39.95. So let's say $40. So it's 60. It's $24 times $25. So that's not even. God, trying to do the math here.
You say 25 times what?
25. Let's say 25,000 versus times 24.
Okay, times 24. That's
that's
$600,000.
Okay, there you go.
600,000.
Okay, they didn't have a lot of people there. They didn't have a lot of foreign TV there. They lost a fortune.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think the venue was half full. It wasn't that many people there at all.
But you're looking at asses in the seats. There's a lot of giveaways. Okay. There's always a lot of giveaways to those type of shows.
Yeah, you're right about that. There was a lot of giveaways with that. We don't know how many tickets they gave away. I didn't hear anyone talking about it at the local barbershops. There was no excitement about it. It was on the first. College football, you're running up against that. Oh wow, I don't know what I don't know what they've been thinking about as relate to that. But PBC, okay, so so basically you have a bunch of fighters signed to one company. All of the fighters want to follow hold on, explain this to me. Remember how they promote we following the Floyd Mayweather blueprint, right? So it's funny to me.
The problems are not Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. You said we followed the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. Wait a minute. One, you're not Floyd. You know, you see what they did for Floyd. Wait. No. There was only one Floyd. If the PBC was a Floyd Mayweather making machine, how come they haven't made another Floyd? That's my question that I always say to people who always say that these fighters with the PBC are following the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. He laid out the blueprint. There's a lot of those YouTube channels out there that say that. So, and that's what it is. It's not another Floyd. So if you don't have another Floyd, like who would be your next in line as your cash cow? You have 250 fighters or whatever, somewhere maybe 200 or more. How can you keep all of these fighters happy? They have families, they have wives, they got to pay their bills, they pay their rent.
That's why I've always said that you hear all these people saying, thank you, Al Haymon. They're the 30 or 35 fighters that are shown on TV. What about all the ones that aren't shown and that are never fighting? And that's just the way it works. You know, I mean, go to a core business of 50, 60 fighters like Top Rank does, like Eddie Hearn does. That's the Golden Boy's got like 30 fighters and they're successful. Okay. He's got way too many fighters because he's trying to be the biggest instead of the best. Arum's the best. I just said it recently. Maybe it was on your show. I said, if you compared the promoters, Bob Arum would be the Rolls Royce, Eddie Hearn would be the Ferrari, and Al Haymon would be probably between a Kia and a Hyundai.
And what is your reason for saying that? For people who may say you're hating on the black man, you're hating on Arum, you're hating on the black man. No. I'm just saying. For people are going to say that. That's what they're going to say. So some people, not all, but what would you have to say?
Don King's like a father to me, and it's one of my favorite people in boxing of all time. So let's put color right out of that. Besides, I'm married to a black woman. My best man at my wedding was black, and my attorney, who's now passed away, was black. So it's not hating, it's reality. People have to distinguish the difference and recognize and realize the difference between hating and reality. Okay, my new partner, I'm now involved with Freeway Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, yeah. And I thank you. Hey, listen, thank you for bringing him on the show. I really appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for having.
It's not about Al Haymon being black. Right. It's about Al Haymon is doing things that are contrary to what boxing is supposed to be about, and the presentation of boxing is supposed to be about. Okay. That's what it is. I'm a traditionalist. I'm about tradition.
So you feel like that instead of having a plethora of fighters that PBC has, if Al Haymon decided to, like, in business we call it well, you know business very well, but you know I've had my business for like 12 years now. You have to niche down. Okay, you know what? Instead of having 250, like you said, give me 30 of my best fighters.
I'm not even saying that. I would say, okay, even 60. What do you need 200, 250, 300 fighters for? For what? For what? Build up a core business with the stars you have and the fighters that can be stars. He's putting garbage. In Jewish, we call it drek. In Yiddish, we call it drek. He's putting drek on TV. For what? Give us the best fights.
The people.
Nobody complains about the Top Rank fights. Nobody complains about the Golden Boy fights. They do complain about Eddie's fight because he has too much domestic stuff from the UK that doesn't mean anything in America. Okay, that he puts on the zone for over that comes over here. But it's not the quality of the fights that they're complaining about. It's that the people over here have no interest, and two local guys over there that are English and Irish fighting over here. That's it. But the fights are bad. He's putting on garbage, this guy. So and somebody said to me once, wasn't that a great fight they put on that Haymon? I said, yes, it'll happen occasionally. I mean, even a blind squirrel, gets a nut once in a while. Okay, I mean, come on. I mean, he's cool. I know when these fights are going to be good or bad. My wife says to me one night about watching the fights on Showtime or Fox, whatever one of Haymon shows. I think it was Fox. And the wife says to me, "Are we staying home watching the fights?" And I said, "I'm going to stay home to watch that garbage. I'm going to dinner." Okay, we're gonna go out to go to dinner. Hell, and spend the evening out. I'm not gonna. I know when fights are gonna be good before as soon as they're signed up. I see the fight. I hear about it. I know whether the fight's gonna be good or bad. It's a mismatch. It's my business. I know my business. You know what, Coach? You know what the hooker said to her customer?
What's that?
Stop pulling on my ears. I know my business.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. So why would you say, when you say people don't complain about Bob Arum fights, Oscar De La Hoya fights, what do you mean by that?
Because they're competitive. They're competitive, and they're on the network they're supposed to be at. He's not trying to force feed you fights on pay-per-view. He had one fight years ago that he did with Crawford that did 48,000 buys, and the only reason why it was on pay-per-view because he was fighting with HBO at the time. So, and he had to give Crawford a fight, so he put it on. Okay, and that was it. One time. Okay. He puts fights on that are supposed to be on pay-per-view. He puts fights on that are supposed to be on ESPN. He puts fights on ESPN Plus that are supposed to be on the Plus. He does things the way you're supposed to do them. He's got an in-house TV executive. Okay, Arum does. On what's supposed to go on what. And it works with ESPN. They discuss each fight. Nobody's telling Haymon what to do. He's like a runaway freight train.
So basically, I see what you're saying now. Top Rank will be kind of set up like a regular corporation, like an American, like a corporation, corporate structure. Yeah.
They got a chairman, Bob. They got a president, Todd DeBuff. They have a COO, Brad Jacobs. They got vice president this. They got vice president of that. They got a director of finance. You know, they have 7 corporate officers there.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. So if the fighters can't get the money that they want from the pay-per-view, let's say these fights, I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but if I'm a company, I have a whole bunch of fighters, and let's say I just lost money on the Luis Ortiz, Charles Martin fight. I mean, at some point in time, you would think that a company would say, hey, you know what, man, we can't keep doing these pay-per-view fights for these guys. What do you, we're losing money.
Do you know the real definition of insanity?
Yeah, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
Thank you.
Yeah. But I understand that, but if the money's not there, the money is not there. So you can keep doing the same thing over and over.
Somebody's got to tell Al Haymon not to do it anymore because he just keeps doing it, and he's getting encouragement from Showtime and Fox because of the fact that they get revenues from the pay-per-view as a distributor. So for them, it's found money.
So how does it affect the fighters, though?
It doesn't until Haymon puts his foot down. So
what you're telling me is, I guess I'm confused. What you're telling me is,
you're not confused. I guarantee you're not confused.
Let's say I have $100 and I keep putting on shows, and every time when I put these shows on, quite a few of these shows, I'm losing money. Eventually, I have $100 in operational costs. I don't know what the operational cost is, but if I keep losing money on my operational costs, I'm not going to have any money to operate anymore. So how can he afford to continue to do that? That's what I'm saying.
That's going to be seen yet. We don't know. Nobody really knows for sure. You know, we have to see. We don't know how long this can sustain itself. He doesn't have big money makers. Who's he got that's a money maker these days for him?
Oh, some would say Errol Spence. He's the big fish. He's the money maker. They say he's the cash cow, right?
And is he really a cash cow? He's one step in front of Crawford. He's not a cash cow.
All right.
And when you pay Canelo $40 million, Canelo's the cash cow. You're not. In other words, Haymon's not the cash cow because you're overpaying him by giving him $40 million when he should be getting $30 million.
So basically, Canelo, he basically was a money grab. Canelo stuck the bag up. He stuck. So that what you're saying? He not robbed the bank. That's what I'm flowing.
No, not really, because that really didn't make any money or lose any money. Okay, I mean that did less than they said in the pay-per-view buys, but they weren't far off. It did a big gate. They did big foreign TV and everything else. So that's not really a huge loser. If it lost maybe $1 million or $2 million. the other night lost a lot of money compared to the percentage of what the income was to how much they lost to compared to what the overhead was. Okay, I mean, they're going to have what do you think that the Mario Barros and Thurman is going to do? That's going to shit the bed.
Bro. I mean, whoever came up with the idea to put Charles Martin in Ortiz pay-per-view, I don't know what they're smoking, but whoever came up with Keith Thurman, a guy who's been out of boxing for over 2.5 years, and put him in the ring.
It was a cross between crack and fentanyl.
And we're gonna make this pay-per-view. And that's what, like, I wish Keith Thurman is from my same city. So I wish I can see Keith Thurman like, dude, okay, you wanted 10 million to fight Crawford. Are you getting 10 million now? I'm listen. If I was giving him 10 million, hey man, so be it. The fight Mario Barrios, so be it.
He's probably getting $1 million and a half. That's all. That's all. And Barros is probably getting 500,000. I would say 600,000.
I mean, bro, like he's been out 2.5 years. Keith Thurman, that he might go tooth and nail with Barrios. I'm not.
I'm predicting Barrios beats him.
No, man. No, don't do that to my dog. Keith Thurman, now, I know I give him a hard time. So you said Keith Thurman, one time, you predict he getting beat by Mario Barros? Why you say that?
He can, because Mario Barros was killing himself to make 140. He's going to be very comfortable at 47 and be able to use his legs. He's very, very tall. He's about 6 foot tall, and he's going to be able to use his legs. He's the fresher fighter. He hasn't been inactive. And I think that Keith Thurman's soft. I think he's on the back nine. Yeah. And I just don't, if he wins, he may be one of those fights that Barros is ahead and he gets caught or something like that, but way ahead in the fight, but gets caught. But I just don't see a good ending in that fight for Thurman. I just don't see it. I think it's one of those fights that Barros isn't that good, but Thurman's not going to be what he was. And Barros is a pretty good fighter. He's no joke, let me tell you.
Okay, so who actually, if Al Haymon is not a promoter per se, who actually promotes the fights?
Tom Brown, it's called TGB, his company. In honor, the G is in honor of the Goosen. He's married to Dan Goosen's, the late Dan Goosen's sister. Mm-hmm. So it's TGB is in Tom Goosen Brown. And basically speaking, gets paid on a per show basis, and he promotes all the shows for Haymon. He's the logistics guy. He's the setup guy. They use his license. And then Haymon dwells out the money from the podium from PVC.
So who? All right. So he does that. So why the PVC don't use Mayweather Promotions? Mayweather's promoter, right? Leonard Ellaby.
He does it for them because they're disorganized confusion. Where Tom Brown has got his shit together.
Hold on, man. So you listen. You have Mayweather Promotions. Money Mayweather. You got Leonard Ellaby. He's supposed to be the best promoter. He's the next second coming of Don King. And Al Haymon don't want to do business with the brother.
No, he wants business with them. Okay. When he co-promotes some of the shows, but the guy who's doing all the work, his company is Tom Brown and his company, which is TGB. TGB. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, man, you saying a whole lot of stuff right now. As it relates to Tank Davis, I want to move on to Tank Davis now. So we know that the King Kong Ortiz Charles Martin fight did under 25,000. They haven't released the numbers. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I said before the show starts, if they release the numbers, that means the fight did good. If they don't release the numbers, we already know it didn't do well. So they're probably going to be embarrassed by releasing.
And they're not going to release phony numbers anymore because they know I got the real numbers.
Right. They can't do that. So has anyone challenged you on Twitter? Remember last time you said Tank Davis did 52,000. Leonard got mad and said a couple things.
If that's not the number, Leonard, what's the number? He knows I got him by the horse collar. He knows I'm dragging him down like in a football game. I got him by the horse collar. I'm dragging him down.
So has anyone like refuted what you said on Twitter? Like, has anyone from Fox or
Well,
PBC?
well, no, none of those. But fans have Tank Davis or PBC or the Haymonites, the Haymonites, the Agenda Crew, the LDBCers, all those people. Yes, they have. But the people in the business all know my numbers are great.
Right. So my thing is this: if you tell me that no, it didn't do something, can you give me something counter to counter? Okay, what did it do? Like, what do you guys know? And I noticed that these guys make
when I put out a number like that, it's so exact. Okay, they know I got the proof. Okay.
right.
So now, hey, what's his name said there is still counting up. Oh, it did way more than that. We got over 100,000 streaming buys. This is what Espinoza said.
That's what I said. Showtime. Yeah.
Sure. My number is total consumer purchases, home cable, satellite, and streaming. Okay.
Okay. All right. So there's rumors that Canelo Alvarez and Jamal Charlo are in negotiations or whatever to fight each other. Have you heard anything about that?
They're not in negotiations yet. The idea is being thrown around. And it's a matter of Charlo moving up to 68, vacating. So there's a lot of moving parts here. He's still got Canelo still got that cruiserweight fight out there available for him. So he's listening to what Haymon's going to say, and he's listening to what Charlo's going to do. Haymon's going to say what Don King's going to say. That's what he's listening to.
I hear Makabu, the cruiserweight, he has a mandatory that he has to fight. So I'm hearing that fight is off the table for Canelo as of right now.
No, Mukabu is fighting his mandatory on January 29th in Warren, Ohio.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
so it's not off the table. The winner could fight Canelo.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. See, that's a misunderstanding. Thank you for correcting me on that. So now he could still fight that guy because the fight is early enough. It's January.
Or if he loses, he can fight the winner. Machunu he's fighting Machunu, another African.
Okay. So that's good. Canelo fighting the brother. That's good. The brother give him some money. So what do you see Jamal Charlo though? If that fight happens, because Jamal specifically said that he would not move up to 168. He's a 160 pounder. I have sound bites right here on my roadcaster. He won't do that. But now if he moves up to 160, 68 to fight Canelo, I mean, I don't know how much money he would want. Well, how do you see that if that was to happen? Like, what do you, from a business
in the ring?
How would that? No, not in the ring. Just from a business standpoint, how could that happen from a guy who says that?
I think he's going to want $10 million, and if Haymon wants to pay him $10 million, he's going to take the fight. He's not going to sit there and go keep fighting for a couple million, $2.5 million when he can make $10 million in one fight.
And,
so we'll see. I don't think he can make 60 strongly anymore.
No, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. What do you think Canelo would want? He got 40 million guaranteed last time, right? So
he'll want 40. He'll want 40 million. He's already set a precedent, just like Crawford set a precedent. He got 6 million.
Yeah, 6 million.
Okay. For the Porter fight. So he's not going to want to go back. Once they attain, when they win, they don't want to go backwards. If they win the fight and they attain new high status and money, they don't want to go backwards.
Understandably so. I mean, that's just like someone on a regular 9-to-5 job. You're a manager. You're making $100,000 a year. You don't want to get go back to say, no, we're gonna cut your salary, work for $75,000 when you used to making. Yeah. I understand it. I definitely understand that. So, any update, like pay-per-view fights, big fights that you think they're gonna come later on in the future that you would be looking forward to, or how do you see the landscape
the fight I want to see is Crawford and Josh Taylor, the undisputed junior welterweight champ. Got all 4 belts. He's undefeated. He's from Scotland. I want to see that fight. That's a fight I'm interested to see. That's that may not be on pay-per-view, but it's pay-per-view quality.
Right. So because I don't think that the Spence Crawford fight is going to happen. The goalpost has been moved 1,000 times. You're on the wrong side of the street. You got to leave ESPN. Your promoter
blocking it. You got to leave Bob Arum. Yeah, it's everybody's fault. It's everybody's fault, but Spence and Haymon. I like that. That's funny.
And now he's a free agent. Oh well, he's going to want too much money. But we don't know what he wants. Oh no, but we didn't make so it just seemed like the goalpost is constantly getting moved.
I got to resolve for the stealing of the signal.
Right.
You want to know what it is?
What's that?
Go closed circuit. Make people go to the movie theaters, and everybody have to go in the movie theater.
That's how they did it back in the day, though, right?
They did back in the day.
Close circuit TV, yeah. So, in order for Crawford to fight Josh Taylor's with he's with Top Rank, right?
Yes.
So, how do you see that? Would he go back to Top Rank? Bob Arum, he has a relationship with them.
Yeah,
you fight on the one fight.
Bob will probably do the fight, and he'll want two options on his next 2 fights or something like that. That's what I would do if I was Bob. That's common sense.
Yeah, because if there's nothing out there from the PBC, he's a free agent. No one from the PBC seems to want to fight him. They don't want to fight him. I saw plenty of videos on that. They don't want to fight the guy. So what is his options? At the end of the day, he's got to weigh his options. Say, okay, the PBC shit ain't working. That ain't gonna work. Big Fish don't want none. He's in the PBC Witness Protection Program, and he got So over here, what is his options? The Zone, Eddie. What about the Zone with Eddie Hearn?
Who does he have to fight?
Yeah, Eddie Hearn said that in the interview. He said, "I don't have anybody for him to fight." He did say that.
No. He's got Conor Benn. He ain't doing that. Conor Benn will get beat, and then he's got a big attraction in Conor Benn. Why would he want to do that?
Right. That's so you don't see Crawford fighting Conor Benn. So you're saying Josh Taylor, where would that fight take place at? If that was to happen?
In the UK.
In the UK.
Yeah, probably in Cardiff, Wales, or in a big soccer stadium with 55, 60,000 people there.
I have videos where I said this. I said that, listen, the PBC stuff is not going to work. Once Crawford becomes a free agent, it's going to be another stumbling block. I'm going to play my receipts tomorrow where I said this on the show. And I said that I see Crawford, his next fight probably being Josh Taylor in the UK because you're going to get a bigger crowd over there. Maybe he can come back after that and fight what? What about Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis? What you think about those two guys?
I think those fights will happen eventually. I don't think Boots' his own promoter has told people, Cameron Duncan has told people behind the scenes that he's not quite ready for Crawford yet. That he would fight Spence tomorrow, but he's not quite ready. He used to manage Crawford, so he knows Crawford very well. And
Who was that? The manager? What's the name?
Cameron Duncan.
Cameron Duncan. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So he's a year and a half away from beating a Crawford. If he's got, in other words, where Crawford goes downhill over the next year and a half with 3 more fights, and the other guy with 4 more fights goes uphill. So right now, I would favor Crawford just on experience and stuff. He's been under the bright lights. The other guy hasn't in huge fights. The other guy's been under the bright lights, but not the brightest lights.
Yeah, I'm really high on Boots Ennis. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he's the future of the division. I feel like him and Virgil Ortiz. I feel like that they are going to
100%. Let's just hope eventually they're both undefeated welterweight champs, that they do fight each other.
Yeah, I feel like Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis is gonna run the older guys off the block. You guys are not fighting each other. Okay, cool. We're gonna run y'all ass off the block. It's our time now. I love Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz, and I think the world of those guys. I just hope they don't change. And I hope they don't change when they start, get up there and start talking about the other side of the street and, you with the wrong network. Imagine Marvelous Marvin Hagler saying that. The Marvelous one. Tell us some stories about Marvelous Hagler that you might know.
There's so many of them. There's so many great stories.
John Mugabe. Tell me about the John Mugabe fight. Like at that time, because a lot of these guys, they just started watching boxing now. They're casuals. They just started watching boxing like 4 or 5 years ago. Explain to them the mentality of a Marvelous Marvin Hagler that's not here today.
Tear your head off and shit your neck. They brought a sparring partner in for Marvel, 2 sparring partners for Marvelous Marvin to work with for a fight. You got to hear this. So Marvelous Marvin was taking it to one guy. He turns to Goody Petronelli, the trainer, the Pat Petronelli. They were the manager trainers. They were brothers. They were co-managers, co-trainers. And he says, "Guys, I thought you said he's going to take it easy on you." And Pat looks at him with a straight face and says, "You should have known I was lying."
Man, listen, man. Hey, listen. So, who do you see? Which fighter you see today? Just any fighter. Doesn't matter which weight division, where they're from, what country they're from. Which fighter today you would say reminds you? Okay, the middleweight division. In the middleweight division, we'll say middleweight, between middleweight, super middleweight, and maybe junior middleweight. Who reminds you of a Hagler or one of those or Sugar Ray Leonard or you know, Simon Brown or none.
Nobody. Those guys were real fighters. They were animals. They kind of got in there. Dwight Muhammad, Quarry, the list goes on and on. They had balls down to their ankles. They had hearts the size of their bodies. One guy said about Hagler once. He weighs 160 pounds, and he thinks his heart weighs, and you think his heart weighs 158 of it.
Listen, explain to us why. When I look at Hagler's record on his 50th fight, that's when he had an opportunity to fight for the title. I'm going to read that to you.
So somebody asked a question here.
Yeah,
Rick, why would Canelo?
I'll read it to you. He said, Rick, why was Canelo fight? He said, why would Canelo fight Jamal? Jamal has nothing to offer. Why wouldn't Canelo take a mandatory at I guess SMW? I don't know what that is. The WBO, WBA with a soft touch, kill two birds with one stone. I don't know what he mean by super middleweight.
Canelo do it? Canelo,
he said, why?
Because he gets $40 million.
So it's just strictly financial. That's a business move for Canelo.
Yeah, and it puts the myth that everybody thinks that Charlo can beat Canelo, which I find like comical.
Right. Is there a reason why? And I'm gonna get back to my Marvin Hagler question. But is there a reason why Jamal Charlo? I've been his biggest critic. Not gonna lie, I love Jamal Charlo. I have nothing bad to say about Jamal. I love that dude. He wants to fight. It is what it is. But is there a reason why Jamal Charlo's been a middleweight for 5 years, since 2017? Is there a reason why he has fought 0 champions in that division, in your opinion?
It's self-explanatory.
So he cherry picking.
You don't need me. You answer your own question with laughter. Come on.
But this ball been taking the easy matches. Fight another ball.
We need a Clubber Lang, man. We need a Clubber Lang. Hey, you know I love Clubber Lang. I know it's a fictional character on Rocky 3. It's my favorite Rocky, but Clubber Lang, I love Clubber Lang. So tell him about how when Marvelous Hagler in his 50th fight, why did it take him so long in order to get a shot at the title in the 70s, in that time?
Nobody would fight him. He was left-handed and right-handed. He was a power puncher. He was mean. He was mean as you get, and nobody wanted to fight him. He was a beast. So there's your answer.
So how was he able to get the title shot? I'm hearing that he had to, go to get the government involved, or
the federal government. Tip O'Neill, who was the U.S. senator from Massachusetts, his home state, called up Bob Arum. I heard, I don't know if it's true, called up Bob Arum and said, you got to give this guy a title shot. If not, there's going to be a lot of repercussions on boxing. And they came up with a title shot for him. The first time it was a draw, which it wasn't. He got robbed. And the second time, Hagler finished the job off against Alan Minter.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased when it comes to Marvin Hagler. I love my old school fighters. I love that mentality. I really miss Don King. I've been his biggest critic, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I really miss the guy because and I know he's still alive, but I'm saying in the sport of boxing, I feel like Don King, he gave us what we wanted. You'll see a fight card with Don King. He'll have several champions fighting on the same card. You know what I mean?
I was sitting in a restaurant with Don. Can't even remember what year it was, maybe 2012, 13, 14. It was post 2010, and Don himself's been on the back nine he just turned 90 years old. He's been on the back nine for about the last 11 years, since 2010 in promoting. But a guy walked up to us in a restaurant, and obviously Don King stands out amongst any crowd. The guy walks up to Don. He says, Don, you made me a boxing fan. And now that you've stepped back into semi-retirement, he says, boxing has lost me as a fan. There's too much garbage on TV, but you gave me a lifetime worth of memories. Thank you. The guy went to walk away and said, Dad says to him, you don't want my autograph? He said, I didn't come over here for your autograph. I come over here to tell you how I felt. And the guy said that and walked away. Dad thought it was a prelude to get an autograph out of him,
Yeah, hey, listen, what do you think? What is Tyson Fury's next move? We hear what's going on with him and Dillian White.
Well, what I think should happen, I'm going to tell you what I think should happen for the betterment of boxing. Ready?
Ready.
Tyson Fury and Joshua should fight each other, and what's his name, the champ there, Usyk should give Dillian White a shot at his title. That's what they should do.
But that, that's not going to happen. Usyk and Joshua they have a fight date. They're going to fight each other. So what's on the table?
There's no fight date scheduled for
any
guy.
Yet? There's no fight date yet?
Nope.
I thought they had a fight date for like April or March or something.
There's no date.
So you're saying that? Do you think that there's something going on in the background to try to make something like that happen? What you suggest?
No, I don't know. I'm not saying there is anything because I don't know that, but that's what I would do if I was involved with Tyson Fury and Joshua. That's what I would do. That makes the most sense.
So if that doesn't happen, what is Tyson Fury's options as it relate to his next fight? In your opinion? Dillian White. Now, how do you it's going to a purse bid. So okay, it hasn't went to a purse bid yet.
It probably won't go to a purse bid. And the reason why it probably won't go to a purse bid is because it's an 80-20, but with the WBC that Fury's side gets Fury and his team gets 80%. I'm sorry, and Dillian White gets 20%. So it's pretty tough to go to a purse bid when you're only getting 20%.
Okay, yeah. So I see what you're saying. So basically, Dillian White is going to have to take that 20%, whether he likes it or not, and get the fight going on. So
no, it's not. He's not. If he goes to make a deal, he's not taking 20%. He's probably going to take between $5.5 and $6 million. But if it goes to a purse bid, then he would be an 80-20 split.
Oh, so it'd be dumb for him to do that. It'd be dumb for Dillian White to make it go to a purse bid.
Of course.
Dumb. But that's what Bob Arum is offering him 20% anyways. That's what they're offering. So he doesn't have a choice, right?
No, they're using that as a wedge to get them to settle for between $5 and $6 million. I don't know what the exact figure is, but that's what they're using it as a wedge, is what they're doing. There's no 80-20. There's no 80-20 if it doesn't go to purse bid. That's a WBC thing with a purse bid. So based on that, they're pushing to give them $5 to $5.5 million based on the 20% rule.
Okay, and so Dillian White should Dillian White, what do you think? You think he should just bite the bullet and go ahead and accept the fight, and he's been waiting?
Where's Dillian White going to make $5.5 or $6 million?
I don't know what he's making now, so I really don't know.
He just got $800,000 for his last two fights total, averaging $300,000 and $500,000 for his last two fights.
Is that being confirmed? Because I'm hearing he made like 4 million pounds.
No. I heard from the commission, from somebody that talked to the commission over there, that it's maybe $300,000. If I remember, he got knocked out by Povetkin. Right.
So he doesn't get any percentages on pay-per-view buys or nothing like that, or you don't know?
I don't know that for a fact, but even if he did, so he got a little more. So he got $1 million. The other guy got $26.5 million versus. What do you call it? Now you know why it's 80-20.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. So, what you got going on right now? You and Freeway Ricky. Thank you for letting Kid Austin came over here, him and his pops. They gave us a phenomenal interview. What do you have going on right now with you and Freeway?
Just signing up fighters. Starting to schedule fights, but we're having a little rough because of the COVID coming in. A lot of guys are canceling shows or planned shows. So guys that were doing shows in February are going to do shows in April, and guys who are doing shows in March are going to do them, and they're going to do them in May. So that's what's happening right now.
Okay, that's what's going on right now as relate to.
Yeah, but we're getting everybody active and stuff, and certain guys are training. One guy hasn't fought in almost 3.5 years. By the time he gets back in the ring, he's been out since September of 2018. Alvin Vermel Jr. And so he's still training and stuff, and we're getting everything situated. We hired a conditioning coach, a well-respected one from LA. He's going to start doing something unique. He's going to do stuff over Zoom because of COVID, and also because of the cost of traveling. He's going to do his teachings and you're going to do exercises on Zoom in front of him. And Rick thought of that. Freeway himself thought of that. I thought that was brilliant. We hired a publicist about 2 weeks ago, Mario Serrano Communications, based in LA. I'm based in Las Vegas. I'm sorry, and we're rolling. So you know we're getting all the pieces in place right now. We're signing fighters up of good fighters. You know we're at a happy place right now, yeah, and it'll go up from here.
So what do you see for 2022, as it relates to the landscape of boxing from a business standpoint? What do you see happening with the fighters who? Let me rephrase it this way. What percentage of fighters, current fighters in the boxing game right now, if you was to label it in tiers, you have the top tier fighters, which will probably be the Canelos,
Let's group it differently. Let's call the group champions,
okay,
top contenders. There's a difference between top contenders and contenders. Then you have the prospects. Okay. And then you have like the novices, the starter guys. And of course, you always have your journeyman fighters, no matter what weight class and at what level. You always got journeyman fighters, except not at the top level.
Okay. So what do you see? What do you see like the guys who are not the champions, the top guys or whatever? What do you see the mid-tier guys doing? You know,
I think the organizations are doing things wrong. I think everybody should have an eliminator before you can fight for the world title. They shouldn't be a mandatory unless there's an eliminator like the IBF does it. I think all the other organizations should do it. That's been my opinion for a while. Make your mandatory challenger worthy of fighting you. That's all there is to it.
So explain to me, I always wanted to know this. What a big fight, small fight, doesn't matter. But let's say it's a big fight. What do the undercard fighters get paid? Just give me a number. Just give me like an example.
4-round fighters get from anywhere from 2,500 to 6,000. 4-round guys. 6-round guys get anywhere from 5,000 to 12,500. 12,500. 8-rounders get anywhere from 7,500 to 15,000. It just depends on the show and who's the promoter and everything. You know, it's the problem with boxing. It's not a trickle down effect. There's guys that fighting on cards that with the main event. Fury got 26.5 million. Wilder got 26.5 million. There's guys getting 6,000 on the undercard.
Ooh, damn. Yeah,
it's not a trickle down. It's not trickle down.
I see what you say. You're right about that, because if the top guys on that card want big money, then there's only so much money. That means everybody else.
What the promoters do. This is what the promoters do. It's a trick. It's not a scam because it's legal, so it's not a scam, but it's a trick. They call you up. They go, "Hey, you want to be in the Tyson Fury Wilder undercard at the T-Mobile Arena, or MGM in Las Vegas? We'll fly you out here. You spend a week out here. Ba 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 ba. It's like a paid vacation." And then he said, "Oh yeah. Who am I fighting? Ba ba ba. How much?" And then they get you with some real low figure because it's a big show, so they get away with it because you want to be there. They've already gauged your temperature.
Right.
It's like this. Ready? So I supply part of my business is supplying sparring partners around the world.
Okay.
So if you tell a guy you can go to London, Japan, or Australia, those are the 3 most wanted trips. Okay, it's easy. Everybody wants to go to those 3 places: Tokyo, London, any city in Australia. Everybody wants to go.
Right.
If you tell somebody, "Hey, you're going to go to the Ukraine, Russia, Poland, Hungary," I don't want to go there. So it's the same idea. Okay, and like in the middle of the winter, you call a guy up from Chicago or Detroit or any of these cold areas. Hey, you can go spar in Big Bear. You can go spar in LA. You can go spar in Miami. People they'll do it almost for free just to get out of the bad weather. But you do that in the heat of the summer, and you call up from somebody from Detroit, Chicago. I'm not going nowhere. So it's the way it is. So it's always supply and demand, my friend.
Listen, Johnny Rice. I don't know if you know what this guy is. He's fought on
the heavyweight who just beat Michael Coffey.
Michael Coffey. He said, well, after the interview, he said, well, I guess I got to thank Al Haymon like everybody else. You know what I mean? He said it jokingly, but he said that he made 6 figures this last fight. He was
$100,000. I would believe he did for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's
Sure.
what I said about 100 grand. I said he said he's able to quit his job and he's able to now focus on getting strength and conditioning coach and just train instead of having to. I got to go to a 9 to 5, and I mean that's very hard. I know Marvin Hagler did it at one point in time in his life. I think he had a construction job or something. He was working in boxing and stuff like that. So I'm really happy for the guy. He says he has 2 more fights left with the PBC. I'm just happy for him. I'm happy for the underdog, the guy who didn't nobody expect to, I'm not saying
everybody loves an underdog story.
Right. And he said he sparred with Tyson Fury. He said he sparred with Fury before. He spoke highly of him. He said he sparred with quite a few heavyweight FA job off stuff fighters he fought. So I'm really happy for Michael Coffey. Is there anything else that you I thank you so much, Rick, for giving us the interview, but is there anything else that you want to just say to the audience, let everyone know how to get in contact with you if they want to reach out to you?
Twitter. I'm on Twitter daily, literally 24/7. It's like my hobby.
Are you still blocked? Does Leonard still have you blocked?
Oh, of course, Leonard's got me blocked.
Listen. He blocked me too, right? And I just, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to get back in Leonard Ellaby's good graces. So is there any suggestions that you can give me to it's okay. I'm just saying, Rick, is there any suggestions? I want to get unblocked on Twitter. No, I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
You can get a hold of me it's at Real Rick Glaser 1 GLASER. I've got a little over 4,000 followers.
Okay.
And so that's the one. There's a couple fake Rick Glaser accounts out there, so be careful. Okay, there's like Real Rick Glaser. They're not me. It's at Real Rick Glaser 1. And like I said, I got a little over 4,000 followers. Just want to say that I want to give a shout out to Freeway Rick Ross, because I know he's either listening or will be listening, and he's doing a hell of a job just getting going in boxing. He's doing a great job. He's a great learner, and he's got some great teachings. I've learned a lot from him. He's learned a lot from me, and the combination's really working. And it's all good,
Let him know I bought the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, and let him know that because he talked about that book on the show when he was here, and let him know I ordered 2 of his books from his website. I'm just waiting on him to get here. But
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for doing that. He's a great guy. I tell you, he's a humble guy. He's real down to earth. I mean, guy's an amazing guy. From going from that to this is incredible. He really's done a great job as a human being, and really, really is. He conforms to society today very strongly. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great.
I love Freeway, man. He's a good guy. Let him know. If you got any more fighters, send them over here. I thank you for sending Kid Austin. Shout out to Kid Austin and his dad, Pop. You know what I mean? Shout out to you guys. I hope everything goes well. And just if you have any more, send them over here. And let Rick know, man, see can he make that happen with Jay Prince for me as well.
You want to have Jay Prince come on, did you say?
Yeah. Let Rick say he was going to try to make that happen for me. Let him know that.
Okay. Let him know. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, that would be cool.
All right,
in the meantime, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure. And anybody wants to follow me on Twitter and DM me for any direct questions, or be my guest. Okay. I love your show, Coach. I love your show. Love your enthusiasm. You're a great guy. Despite the fact that I'm a racist.
Hey, you know what? Hold on, you got to clear the record on that now, because they're going to say, "Are you?" He said he was a racist. He admitted he was a racist. So I know that's
I'm the farthest thing from a racist.
That's
listen. All my favorite fighters of all time are black. They're not necessarily African Americans. Lennox Lewis is a favorite of mine. Larry Holmes, Marvelous Barber Hagler. Well, Roberto Duran is too. Okay, but in the meantime, Terrence Crawford's a favorite of mine right now. Jamel Herring's been a favorite of mine. Shakur Stevens is a favorite of mine. Okay, so I don't live in a black and white world, folks. I mean, it's just rumored by those Haymonites that all the real haters. So,
bro, listen. That soundbite that you just said right there about you being a racist, they're gonna be on your ass about that. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, hey, they're gonna be on your ass. But anyway, man. Hey, shout out to Rick Glaser, man. Rick, man, I'm gonna holler at you, man. All right.
Thanks,
All right, for
everybody.
sure.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
Round of applause. Round of applause, Rick Glaser. Round of applause, Rick Glaser. Yeah, man. Shout out to Rick Glaser, man. They very informative interview. I had quite a few more questions I wanted to ask him. I didn't even get to a lot of the questions I had on the list. Normally I write my questions down, guys, but I was like, you know what, man? You know, I wrote some down, but you know, some of the stuff that he was saying, one question led to another, and it led to another, and it led to another. And this is just pretty much just how the interview went. He answered a few questions. I knew what he was going to say about the pay-per-view numbers. I knew that. I knew he was going to say that, hey, man, I knew about that he has an attorney that's involved in with the case. He's a television attorney, and he's able to get the information about who did what numbers on pay-per-view. I already knew the answer to that, but the reason why I asked him that question again, for all of those who may be in the chat who may be new to the channel, may not have never heard of Rick Glaser. So I wanted to ask him that question again so that the people who may not have been familiar with that to figure out how he got those numbers. I'll go back and look at the interview. Go back and look at the interview after the show. But the Ortiz Martin numbers, he said it did less than 25,000. I'm more inclined to believe that, to be honest with you. You know, there's a reason why they haven't released those numbers. Also, guys, hold on. Let me see. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button. Hit the like button for the old boy, man. Get us 80 likes so I can open up these phone lines. I know you guys have a lot of questions. I'm going to address the chat. Give me 80 more likes. I want to open up the phone lines. Let me set it up right now. I want to talk to the people. What questions that you may have. I have everything set up right now. So what questions you may have, you know, if you want to ask any questions. But let's get the likes up there, 80 more. I want to get over 300 likes. We have 230 likes. We need 70 more likes, and let's get it popping. We're going to do an entire show tomorrow on Tim Smith. We're going to do an entire show tomorrow, guys, on this Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford fight not happening. I told you guys this fight was not going to happen. I'm going to present all of my receipts over here. I have them up right now. I'm not going to show them right now because today is not that show for that. A lot of the PBC fighters, I told you guys, a lot of those guys were Golden Boy fighters. They was Golden Boy Promotions fighters. They was Golden Boy Promotion fighters. I told you guys that. Rick went on ahead and confirmed that. I already knew that, though. Right? He confirmed that. A lot of the fighters, like Keith Thurman, you know, my guy, he's from my city. Keith Thurman is from my area. He's younger than me, of course. So, you know, I'm 48, so I'll be 48 next week. But they want big money. I don't know how much Keith Thurman is getting paid for the Mario Barrios fight, but we know he ain't getting the $10 million that he asked Bob M for to fight Terrence Crawford. We know that. So I'm pretty sure he's getting paid a lot less money. A guy who's been out of boxing for 2.5 years, a little over 2.5 years. And no one really knows who he is anymore. People have forgotten about Keith Thurman. He has not been active. And I like Keith. I feel like the game needs Keith. We need his oratorical skills, the way he presents himself. But the Keith Thurman of 3 years ago is not the Keith Thurman of 2022. That Keith Thurman is gone. It is what it is. So that Keith Thurman is gone. As it relates to Errol Spence and Ugas, we'll see what the big fish can do. No one knows who Ugas is. The Manny Pacquiao Ugas fight didn't do good pay-per-view numbers at all. But the circumstances that did come about, people were expecting Errol Spence to fight Manny Pacquiao. That fight didn't happen. Ugas was a replacement, so that might not late replacement. So that might not be a fair, breakdown of what the numbers are going to be. We're going to find out if Ugas is a superstar, a star or not. Well, Tim Smith talking about, pay-per-view stars and stuff. We're going to see. I don't see no one at the PBC that's a pay-per-view star. I know what a pay-per-view star is. I've been watching boxing a long time. I've lived through the pay-per-view star era, whether it was Floyd Mayweather, whether it was Mike Tyson. You know what I mean? Let's see, Tyson, before Floyd, it was Tyson. Oscar De La Hoya. Some of the big guys who did stuff. Evander Holyfield, guys who was doing 1 million pay-per-view buys, just sneezing. But they was putting on good fights. You don't have that kind of boxing going on right now. And I think that's why we're getting all these garbage fights on pay-per-view. Again, there's no boycotting going on with the PBC fighters. But if the people not buying your pay-per-view fights, they're trying to tell you something. We're going to watch the fights, but the people may decide to stream it. You see what I'm saying? If they decide to stream the fight, then shit, you know, it's because you putting on garbage fights. He said the same shit that I've been telling you guys. Rick Glaser literally said the same shit that I've been telling you guys. This is why they're not watching the fights. Well, not watching. They're watching the fights. This is why they're not paying pay-per-view for it. You're shitting on the plate and telling us it's meatloaf. No one is buying it. And you see, I tried to get to, well, wait a minute, man. Okay, if you have a budget of so many fighters, you see what I'm saying? And you're constantly losing, if you're losing money, how are you able to sustain that business? Now, that didn't really make sense to me. I don't think the PBC is losing money like that. But again, you can't be paying a fighter. What I'm trying to say is, if you have a fighter that's not a draw, if you have a fighter that's like Ortiz, they did less than 25,000. You can't be paying Ortiz $2-3 million and Charles Martin $2-3 million. That's $4 million right there. You know what I mean? Or $6 million right there. Or let's say they wanted $5 million. Ortiz, he the boogeyman, so he probably want $5 million. And Charles Martin probably want $3 million. That's $8 million. And then you put it on pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view numbers did $1 million. Total buy $1 million, probably gross $1 million, a little less than $1 million. Pay-per-view buys. Come on, man. I mean, you're losing too much money. I'm just throwing hypothetical numbers out there. I don't think that Ortiz and them got that kind of money, but I'm pretty sure it just shows, bro. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. These fights should be on an app, regular like Showtime or Fox at best. That's what these fights should be at, and the people are not buying it. You can cry all you want, Tim Smith. The people are not buying it. But tomorrow, I got something for the ass tomorrow. Shout out to Tony Boswell for dropping that quarter of a bam dizzle up on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He said, much respect, coach, in the chat. Stop by in the show. To hit the like button. Yeah, man, hit the like button for the old boy. I want to open up the phone lines. Y'all hit the like button, man. We need over 300 likes. We need 50 more likes and for me to open up the phone lines. And let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. George says, Ugas beat Spence by KO. I don't know about that. Ugas ain't got no power. You know, I don't know about that. I mean, I would be surprised if you know what? Nothing surprises me now. Because I'm favoring Errol Spence to beat Ugas, but I'm like, what am I basing that on? What am I basing Errol Spence beating Ugas on? Errol Spence hasn't fought since. Hold on, guys. Let me see. Box. Let's go to Box Rec. Errol Spence hasn't fought since when? Hold on, guys. He hasn't fought since. Bear with me, guys. I want to make sure I get the month right. I know the year, but I want to make sure I get the month right. He hasn't fought since December 2020. So you're talking about 14 months. He hasn't fought in 14 months. And Ugas, and hell, they don't even have him down right here. And Ugas just fought. What month that was he fought Pacquiao? Was that in October, guys? Or was that I think that was October. I think that was October. Hold on. Yeah, I think that was October. Box Rec, Dennis Ugas. I think he fought Manny Pacquiao in October. So let's say, we don't know. We don't know if what the date is that hold on, Ugas, your Dennis Ugas. I think that was October, guys. I think that was October. So we don't know when they're gonna fight, but he's been more active. Yeah, they fought your Dennis Ugas. Yeah, he's been more active. He has 4 losses. So he's been more active. I think if that fight go 12 rounds, even if Ugas wins, I don't think he would win. I think the judges would not, Al Haymon and them would not allow that. I don't think they would allow Errol Spence to lose that fight if it goes to 12 rounds, even if he clearly gets beat. Now, another fight happened in August 21st. Even if he gets beat, I don't see that happening. So Ugas is really going to have to probably hurt Errol Spence to the eye, damage that eye. I don't know. Other than that, I just, I'm going to give Spence the nod in that fight, but it would not surprise me if he loses that fight. It would not surprise me if he loses that fight. Again, I will support any pay-per-view as long as it's a fight that I want to pay for. When you are the consumer, guys, I want to explain something to you. When you are the consumer, we need 29, we need 39 more likes for me to open up the phone lines. When you are the consumer, you have a right to spend your money with who you want to spend your money with. Don't let nobody shame you into saying, oh, you know what Tim Smith saying, the fans, they don't want to bang buying the fights. You know, they want to stream it and steal the fights. No. We don't want to buy King Kong Ortiz versus Charles Martin. That's the fight that we don't want to buy. We don't want to buy Tank Davis versus Pitbull Cruz, Aesop Pitbull Cruz, the Mexican Mike Tyson. We don't want to buy that. We don't want to buy Keith Thurman versus Mario Barrios. You can't put on garbage ass fights, say we're going to put it on pay-per-view, then get mad at the fans if they're not buying it because you want them to buy it. This guy, Tim Smith, is very stupid. He's very stupid. You know, because for you to make a statement like that and then not speak on, you know, for you to just take a dump on the fans like they still in the fight, The reason why he's saying that is because they have been doing poor pay-per-view numbers. This is why Tim Smith is saying that. He's like, man, we ain't really been doing good pay-per-view numbers with our fights. This is why he's saying that. And he said it without acknowledging the fact that you got Hobo Sam fighting Shorty Big Nuts. You got Hobo Sam over here fighting Shorty Big Nuts over there, and you saying we want $80 for pay-per-view, and these guys are stars. And then you cop an attitude with the fans because you saying the fans ain't buying it. No, they ain't buying that bullshit. Without addressing why they're not buying it. Boy Hush, they bought Canelo. He said, Derek Kerr, he said, Coach, you sleeping on Pitbull. But it wasn't supposed to be on pay-per-view. No, I'm not sleeping on Pitbull. Listen, I said it. I slept on Pitbull prior to the fight. That's true. I slept on Pitbull. Listen, Derek Curry, I didn't sleep on Pitbull. I was in a coma on Pitbull prior to him fighting Tank Davis. I wasn't impressed with him. After the fight, I realized that I saw the error of my ways. Pitbull was a better fighter than I gave him credit for. Because I saw like all of his fights. Like looking at a lot of his highlights. I went back and looked at a lot of his fight videos. I wasn't impressed. But so he is a better fighter than I thought he was. But is he the Mexican Mike Tyson? No. Is he was that fight? Should have been on pay-per-view? No, hell no. No. That wasn't. That fight was supposed to be on pay-per-view. You know that. That's all I'm saying. You know, we can't, you know, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button. If you're old to the channel, hit the like button as well. We almost at 300. We need 28 more likes. Listen, so that's all I'm saying. So you can't be putting out garbage product. I agree with Rick on that. You can't put out garbage product and then cop an attitude with the fans and say, yeah, they ain't buying it anyway. Bullshit. Tomorrow, we gonna cover this. He say Bud and Spence will get bought. That's a fact. That fight will promote itself. Bro, tomorrow I got some shit. I'm not playing with these guys tomorrow. Because these guys been saying for years about Crawford and Spence. Crawford never should have signed with Top Rank. That's one. Crawford got the wrong promoter. That's two. He on the wrong side of the street. That's three. He fight with ESPN. I fight with Fox and Showtime. That's 5 or 6. He got to take 60-40, but fighters do not make offers. So when you hear these YouTube channels talking about, well, Errol made an offer, Errol didn't make shit. Fighters don't make offers. The promoters do. The dudes who write the checks and pay the money, they make the offers. If Al Haymon didn't make no goddamn offer, all that big fish shit don't mean nothing. You can run all the interference you niggas want. It is what it is. That's bullshit. Tomorrow I got something for you. I hope you be here. But I'm gonna piss some people out tomorrow. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button. We need 19 more likes. I want to open up the phone lines. Shout out to CB3 for dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
CB3 said I'm about to walk in my homeboy apartment in Dallas. Hit me with a hey Leroy, and I'm slapping this aerosexual on God. Oh man, this is hey, Ross. Hey man, I'm just saying, bro. It is what it is. We need 15 more likes for me to open up the phone lines. 15 more likes. I want to open up the phone lines. I'm gonna put the number up. I'm gonna put the number on the screen, George. I'm gonna put the number on the screen. Anybody want to call in, they can call in. My detractors, my haters, my trolls, call on in. I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't run from no smoke. I don't run from nobody. You know that. Phone lines are open. 15 more likes. We need to get to 300 for me to open them up. Again, I said it before. I said that boy don't want to fight Crawford. I said this. There's another obstacle. Why don't I take the easy route? Why don't I fight Sean Porter Ford? That's the easy route. Remember that? We're going to go back in time. Tomorrow. We're going back in time tomorrow. When he leave Bob, then the fight can happen. Remember all of those channels were saying that? The boy's a free agent. He left Bob. Guess what? Now they niggas explaining again. Well, you know, he ain't no pay-per-view star. What the hell a pay-per-view star got to do with any goddamn thing? You niggas said 20 different things. Once he leave Bob, the fight can happen. He left Bob. Now you doing something totally opposite, which I knew you was. Know you very well. I know you very well. Know you very well. Got some. Tomorrow's gonna be receipts, though. I ain't gonna elaborate on that tomorrow. I don't want to give away too much. Tomorrow's gonna be receipts. I'm coming with receipts and facts. I'm coming with receipts over feelings and facts over feelings. That's what we're gonna cover. We toe tagging the body bagging tomorrow. We toe tagging the body bagging tomorrow. How many likes we got? We need 12 likes, guys. We need 12 likes. 12 likes. We toe tagging the body bagging tomorrow. And I want to rock out. I want to rock out with you guys. Misfit, he said, facts, coach. They talking outside of their neck now. Yeah, listen, I got some receipts I'm going to show them all. They can't listen, bro. Shout out to the queen, Misfit. Hey, okay. I'm telling you, I've been hearing all of the narratives, all of these promoters online, all of these fanagers. These niggas been breaking all of the rules of the commandments. They've been breaking all of the rules of the commandments that we go by over here. YouTube channels turning accountants. YouTube channels turning fanagers and promoters. Dick riding for promotional companies. Doing strange things in hotel rooms in Las Vegas to keep your perks. Yeah, I heard about you. I heard about you. I ain't gonna say no names on that though. I ain't gonna say no names on that. I gotta keep my perks. I want to be able to interview these fighters. Yeah. I know. We need one more like. Hit the like button. We need one more like, guys. One more like. I'm gonna open up the phone line. Yeah, I know. I don't think highly of your favorite YouTube channel. I don't. Hit the like button, guys. We need one more like. I don't think highly of them. You know, but me being in the position that I'm in right now, I'm privy to certain things that some of you may not be privy to. You know, I ain't gonna put nobody out there, you know what I mean? But I'm not gonna do that. I don't do that for interviews. Phone lines is open. Let's do this. Phone lines is open. 530-494-9636. 530-494-9636. And listen, another thing too, I don't have any information, guys, to counter what Rick said about how much Dillian White makes, how much he got paid his last two fights. I don't have any information to counter that. That's why I didn't challenge him on that. I kind of did challenge him a little, but I don't have the information to say, hey, Dillian White make more money than that, because I'm not in Dillian White's pockets. I don't know how much money Dillian White gets paid for fight or what he got paid his last two fights. I don't know. So I couldn't challenge him on it because I'm speaking, I would be speaking out of ignorance because I literally don't have any idea. I'm here, Dillian White made $4 million his last fight. Frank Warren and Bob Arum have been saying that he made $800,000. I don't know. I don't know what he made. I really don't know. So I don't have enough information to challenge it, to counter what he's saying as it relates to Dillian White. I don't know. But listen, I shot a video last year, several videos. I said, I'm going to lay out Terence Crawford's next 3 fights. I said, I can see him fighting Josh Taylor in the UK. Anybody who been following me, Halim, you know I'm not lying. Halim, You know I'm not lying when I say this. Anybody who been following me, who been following my show, right when Crawford Porter fight was announced, I said once he beats Porter, he's going to be a free agent. I say the Spence fight is not going to happen. I got the receipts. I'm gonna show you tomorrow. I said this in August. I said the Spence fight is not going to happen. Them niggas gonna move the goalposts again. Crawford next 3 fights is going to be Josh Taylor in the UK. Because they won't be able to sell it over here. Josh Taylor is going to. Terence Crawford has a lot of friends and a lot of fans over there in the UK, but Josh Taylor has a lot more. That fight is going to be a draw. And the people in the UK, they love boxing. They love good fights. That's going to do very well over there. If he can beat Josh Taylor, that's a big if he can beat Josh Taylor, he can come back to the USA and fight Virgil Ortiz in Texas. That's what I said. And I didn't even say, I say either Virgil Ortiz, maybe he can fight Boots after that, but if not, he can go ahead and retire after those 2 fights. If he can win them, that's an if. Because I can't sit back and say that, you know, Crawford is my favorite fighter, but I'm not going to sit here and cap and say, yeah, he'll run through those guys. I don't know. I believe that he'll beat those guys, but believing and seeing it is 2 different things. He has to beat them. What I believe and what I believe is one thing, but I have to see those fights. I said Josh Taylor, I said Ortiz, and I said the Spence fight is not going to happen, and I said maybe he should just retire after that, or maybe move up to 154. But the reason why moving up to 154 doesn't make sense, I'm gonna tell you why. Because guess who controls the belts at 154? The PBC. So if he runs to 154, who is he going to fight? Castano is the PBC fighter. Now, he can fight Castano if he still has that belt, or if Jamal Charlo-Castano fight happens and Jamal Charlo beats Castano. If he beats Castano, Jamal Charlo will be undisputed. And if he become undisputed, Terence Crawford moves up, he can be the mandatory for that WBO belt. I'm pretty sure now, not Jamal Charlo, sorry about that, guys, Jamel Charlo. Jamel Charlo want all the smoke. Jamel Charlo, I believe, because Jamel Charlo is one of my favorite fighters. Jamel Charlo, to me, moves a lot differently than Errol Spence. I think Jamel Charlo will fight Crawford. Now, will Al Haymon them allow that fight to happen? I have no idea. But I think Jamel Charlo will fight Crawford. He's not going to be talking all that crazy shit. I don't want to believe that because I think too highly of Jamel Charlo. 702 Man Cave, he said, Coach, do you think Rick is right about Thurman is going to lose? I'm not gonna lie, dog. I'm not high on. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Keith Thurman has not fought in over 2.5 years. There's a possibility. There's a possibility because he has not been active fighting. Keith Thurman of 2022 is not the same Keith Thurman of 2019, 2018. That's a different Keith Thurman. That Keith Thurman, in my opinion, is dead and gone. He's over with. He's over with. The hunger's not there. It's not there. So I can see that happen. He hasn't faced a sharpshooter or any opponent as skilled as Crawford, in my opinion, or a switch hitter at this level. But I said, bro, I'm gonna show all the receipts I have. It's gonna blow your mind tomorrow. All the receipts I show tomorrow. It's gonna blow. Phone lines are open, guys, on 530-494-9636. It's gonna blow your mind tomorrow. I have every contradiction. I have every lie. Those same dudes are backtracking now. Backpedaling. You know who they are. You know who they are. Those same dudes are backtracking and backpedaling right now. And I'm gonna play what I said last year. I said I'm gonna give you tomorrow's news today. I was spot on. I was spot on with it. Not that I'm bragging, but to me it was just common sense. Man, let that nigga know he don't want to fight. He don't want to fight, buddy. That's what it is. So, and you know, in your lifestyle choices, you can't fight that guy living the lifestyle that the big fish lives. You can't fight that guy like that. And they know it. They know it. So it is what it is. But as it relates to, I said it. I said, listen, man, that'll be a big fight in the UK. That'll be a big fight in the UK. I think it'll be a big fight in the UK. Because one thing about the UK fans are very different from American fans. The UK fans, the Mexican fan base, the UK fan base, they're different. In America, Woo, but we hard, boy. We hard. Bro, you better be giving us something if you want us to pay for this. In America, we don't even play. Dog, if you want me to pay $80 for this fight, I better see King Kong and Godzilla fighting each other. Phone lines is open, 530-494-9636. Boy, if you want us to pay for this fight, boy, you better be giving us something. And I just don't get it. The PBC, he says Crawford just not a pay-per-view fighter compared to Spence. I totally agree with that. He said Canelo gets drunk too. The only difference is Canelo is a pound for pound pay-per-view fighter, and he's beating everybody, and he's undisputed. And Canelo is not hold on, guys. We got a call coming in. To me, you're comparing apples and oranges, to be honest with you. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Damien from Baltimore.
Damien from Baltimore. What the league read, Dame? What you got going on, fam? What you want to talk about?
I'm good, Coach. I respectfully disagree with you on this particular topic.
No problem.
I think it's too early to jump out the window. I say after, if the fight doesn't have to happen after the Ugas fight, then I agree with you 1,000%. But he says road to undisputed, so I'm giving benefit of doubt. Road to undisputed, easy to make the fight with Ugas. So if the fight doesn't have to happen after that, I'm with you 1,000%. What do you think about?
Okay, Damien. Hold on. I'm gonna ask you a question before you go. What do you think about what Tim Smith said, the VP of Operations for PBC, that said that fight is not going to happen because of finances?
I don't know. I don't know. I will see.
Okay. All right, but thank you.
I mean, the man who is the man, we don't hear from him. So I mean, everything else is all speculation.
All right. Okay. All right.
We don't hear from him.
Yeah, we don't hear. Don't nobody hear from Al Haymon. They don't even know what he looked like, really. I mean, we got a couple pictures, but
that's why I said after that fight doesn't happen, then I agree with you 1,000%. Like we can put a duck, a quack, or have whatever emoji you want to put on. Put it there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, man. Shout out to my brother, man, Damien, man. Thank you so much, brother, for calling in, man. Thank you, man.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Phone lines are open, guys. On 530-494-9636. Phone lines are open right now. Bro, like, I just got to call it the way I see it, dog. Like, this ain't no hate. This ain't no shade. Bro, I'm sure. I told you guys before, if these dudes did not have a double standard, they would not have a standard at all. The phone lines is open. Anybody want to call in, call back in. If they did not have a double standard, they would not have a standard at all. I'm seeing goalposts after goalposts after goalposts after goalposts being moved. But that's, I told you guys, I'm not disappointed. I knew what the World League was. I got my receipts I'm gonna show tomorrow. I have every last goddamn receipt of everything I've said as it relates to this fight from last year. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, though? What's poppin'? It's your man Mark Nash, ATL in this thing. What up, though?
Mark Nash, what's going on, fam? What the league read, baby? What you want to talk about?
Man, I've been enjoying the show, man. Hell of an interview. Hell, no punches. Y'all went right to the meat and potatoes, man. Hell of an interview. I want to know what the receipts here, no, Coach, because you and I both been saying for a long time. When we saw them meeting up with them matching hoodies, looking like Ken and Raul. Looking like, yo, he had the black hoodie, he had the red hoodie. When he was like, control your niggas.
Yeah, man.
And Bud was like, I'm right here, you talk to me.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
he said, bet 100,000. Bud said, bet 1 million. He tried to grab some fat on Bud. Bud said, that's solid. He grabbed it, he was like, and then Bud grabbed it, he said, that's fat. Bro, he checked that man, bro, in so many ways, and I saw it in his eyes. He ain't been the same since. That kid don't want no fight.
Man, listen. Mark Nash, tomorrow gonna be a hell of a show, bro. I'm dropping all these receipts, man. Just, bro. And this ain't no shade. I'm not taking a dump on nobody. But dude, like, I just think it's obvious at this point. I'm in agreement with you. He don't want to fight that. The energy is different when it comes to Crawford. It's, you got to be, you got to fight this dude, wrong network, wrong side of the street. You got to come over here. You're a free agent now. All the finances, you ain't no pay-per-view star. You got to fight Donkey Kong. It's just a whole lot of shit. I'm like, bro.
Hey, Coach. Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Last time I checked, them Charlo twins, they put both of them on a pay-per-view card and they flopped.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did like 100,000 both together.
You got two twin champions on the same card and they flop. Come on, bro. They ain't doing no number. You got two twin champions.
Listen,
like I think he should be silent about pay-per-view. Is Danny Garcia a pay-per-view star?
No. Danny Garcia got beat by.
He's not.
No,
Sean Porter.
No,
everybody. Still not a pay-per-view star.
No. Now, you know what I think?
But he got his biggest fight across the street and got his ass kicked.
Mark, I think their criteria is different from what a star is. I think to them, a star is who, I'll just say this. A star is who, whatever the criteria is at that time. So whatever the narrative is for that time. And I think that we came up, me and you came up in we saw the Floyd Mayweathers. We saw, probably, some people might have saw the end of Tyson and stuff like that. We saw the Oscar De La Hoyas. We know what a pay-per-view star is. We know that. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, when they tell me that a guy who sold, 200,000, 250,000, I think he did 250,000 his last, we know Crawford is not a pay-per-view star. We know that for a fact. There's no denying that. But you can't use that as a barometer to say, hey, this fight is not going to happen. And then you say, hey, he's going to want too much money. And then, hey, did you talk to him? Have you negotiated with him?
No, we didn't offer him nothing.
No, we didn't offer him nothing. Do you know how much money he wants? No, we don't know how much money he wants. Why? Because we haven't talked to him. So what is the basis from which?
And the fans gonna steal it, Coach. Don't forget that. Don't forget that part.
Yeah.
And no matter on top of all of that, if you do all of that, the fans gonna steal it.
Yeah,
man, they sound like a defeated mind state.
Bro.
Shout out to Rick Glaser, because Rick Glaser said it best. He said, "You don't think the fans gonna steal Barros and Thurman? Then
I mean,
you don't think they're gonna steal the Ortiz?
No.
Versus Martin? Come on.
Yeah, I said that. I was like, yeah. Listen, ain't nobody gonna buy that Mario Barrios shit, man. Ain't nobody buying no Mario Barrios and Keith Thurman. A man who's been out of boxing for over 2.5 years. Listen, Mark.
He's a star.
Hey, listen, Mark. Listen. Keith Thurman is from my city, dog. Like, I would be, if anybody who should be capping for him, it should be me. I should be like, man, that's home team. Just like them dudes who say, yeah, man, we ride for Arum because he from Texas, he from Dallas. Like, that should be me doing that. Why I'm not doing that? Because I got to be realistic. I got to be as objective as possible and unbiased. Yes, he's home team, but the guy has not been fighting in 2.5 years. You can't put a guy who's been on the shelf. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry about that, bro. Go ahead.
No. You doing your thing. You telling the truth. Because here, the problem is this, Coach, and you know what it is.
Right.
We're dealing with some low IQ individuals.
Right.
And they YouTube daddy tell them what to say and what to think.
Yeah.
These guys don't even know half the shit they saying. They repeat other people's talking points, almost verbatim, almost in the same order. They can't think for themselves. They get online. They YouTube daddy tell them what time to be up. They tell them what time to go to bed. Tell them when they can and go live. And you tell them what to think and what to say. And when you're confronted with this point, you say this.
Right.
And when they confronted with an objective perspective, and brought down to reality, use deductive reasoning. But the problem is a lot of these guys shut down a part of their brain for common sense and deductive reasoning when we're just talking about their favorite fighter. I'm not going to tell you Terrence Crawford is doing right when he's doing wrong just to say I support him. But when you break it down, number by number, round for round, fight for fight, the guy's done everything he's supposed to do, and they just keep moving the goalposts back. So even if he did move up to 154, I wouldn't blame him. You can't keep tracing the big guppy, flounder,
yes, sir,
koi fish, dolphin meat. Can't chase that fish all day, man.
No, man.
But with that said, man, I'm gonna let you get back to the show, man. I'm gonna jump back in the chat. I'm really enjoying this show. Thank you so much. I already shared the link, as you already know.
Yes, sir.
Man, I wish you nothing but health, wealth, and prosperity, man. Thank you for what you're doing, being objective. Some people don't like it because, I thought you was going to do this. I thought you was going to bash Wilder. Well, Wilder was right today. So I got to, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you fair. That's why I like your show.
All right, thank you so much, Mark, man. I appreciate that, man. Y'all please go support my brother Mark Nash, man. He's doing good. His numbers is doing really well, man. Please support him. He has really good content. Let me address this brother right here. Eric Grimey, you know what, brother? That's a good question. He said, so when Boyd pay-per-views flop, did y'all do a show about it? Actually, I did a show about when he stopped Sean Porter. And we talked about the numbers came out that he only did 190,000, and then they said he did anywhere between 130 to 190,000 pay-per-view buys. No one has ever said that Terrence Crawford was a pay-per-view star. No one has ever said that. Now, if you tell me that Terrence Crawford was a pay-per-view star and his numbers flop, then that'll be all the hell in the world to raise, because what you're telling me is not lining up with what it is. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so just, you know, I know you're new to the channel. You can check out my archives, but I have a whole lot of stuff on that. Shout out to Axiom. Shout out to the Axiom for dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He said the PBC smart. He said they know that if they put the fights that the fans want, the PBC would be out of business faster than they are right now. They're on survival mode. You know, I think, you know, I'm not gonna lie to Axiom, man. I think if they put together, if they do the Don King blueprint, not, you know, I ain't talking about the business standpoint, but I'm saying put together these great fights. I'm telling you, bro, like, you listen, listen, you guys know my criteria is my criteria is very, very different. If you tell me that a fighter needs to fight King Kong, if you say, listen, my criteria is simple. I'm from the old school. I was born in the 70s. I followed, you know, I love Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Roy Jones Jr., doggone Simon Brown, Azuma Nelson, Salvador Sanchez, you know, Pernell Whitaker, Sugar Ray Robinson. I wasn't alive with Sugar Ray Robinson boxing. Sugar Ray Robinson, Mike Tyson, Oscar De La Hoya. If you tell me that your fighter is who you say he is, if you tell me that your fighter should be fighting, this fighter should be fighting King Kong, God damn it, your fighter better be fighting Godzilla. I came up in the pay-per-view era when the pay-per-views was booming. We just saw the boy from Mexico, Canelo Alvarez, you know, rounded up. They say he did 800,000 pay-per-view buys. So that show you that that's domestically. Not talking about what he did in Mexico. Not talking about what he did around the world. We don't know what those numbers did around the world. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight, they did like 800 to 850,000 pay-per-view buys for the second fight. That was domestically. And then what they did outside probably took that fight to over 1 million pay-per-view buys. So that fight did well with Tyson Fury and Wilder in the second fight. That fight did. Now the third fight didn't do as good. In the first fight did like about 340, 350. But the good news about the first fight, it was profitable because they didn't have to pay Tyson Fury and Wilder a lot of upfront money on the first fight. Second fight, they made some good money. In the third fight, I don't know how much they made. But, you know, Bob Arum said they lost money, but they didn't lose much. You know what I mean? So, but when you're telling me your fighter needs to, my fighter, the fighter who I like or whoever needs to be fighting King Kong, your fighter better be fighting Godzilla. That's all I'm saying. He better be fighting Godzilla. Don't have a double standard. Don't say, yeah, man, well, this dude need to fight. Like, the thing that tripped me out with the Canelo shit, right? Like, I'm not a pro Canelo channel. This is not a pro Canelo Alvarez channel. I'm not a fanboy of Canelo by any stretch of the imagination. But the only issue I have with people who criticize Canelo, and I understand that, they say that he needs to fight. Hold on. This one guy on Twitter, I showed you guys this the other day. He said Canelo, in order for him to get credit, Canelo needs to fight. He needs to fight Jamal Charlo, David Benavidez, Errol Spence, Dmitry Baturviev, Bivol, and I think he said one more guy. I think those 5 guys. He needs to fight all of those guys in order for him to. Yeah, I saw the commandments. In order for him to get respect from them. I said, okay, I ain't got no problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all. You know why I don't have a problem with that? Because my thing is this, I said, okay, if you feel that way, there's nothing wrong with that. If you feel like that Canelo has to fight all of these guys, I have no problem with that. The only problem I have is you don't keep that same energy for your fighter. Shout out to the Queen, Bless 365, for dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Shout out to the Queen. The Queen said, Coach, we need the commandments read again. I'm finna read them right now. I just put them up. So I have something. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button. But I got something for guys who are new to the channel. Over here at New Media Today USA Boxing, we have something called the 16 commandments that we go by, the 16 commandments of the boxing gods that we follow. This is the only YouTube channel. We have our own commandments over here. We are the only YouTube channel that have our own commandments over here that the subscribers, our subscribers, we encourage you to learn these commandments, and we encourage you to, live by these commandments. This is what we're about over here. This is what we're about over here. New Media Today USA Boxing, right? So let's go ahead and do this. That's all I'm saying. You guys have double standards. Canelo got to fight King Kong, Godzilla, Gamma Mothra, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Bam Bam Bigelow, the Undertaker, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, The Rock. Who else we have? Kane. He has to fight Stone Cold Steve Austin. He has to fight Megatron, Optimus Prime. But then when it comes to a PBC fighter, they ain't got to fight nobody. You guys have double standards. That's all I'm saying. You have double standards. You know what I mean?
But this bomb is taking the easy matches. Fight another bomb.
So let me show you guys the commandments. If you're new to the channel, you want to learn these commandments. This is what New Media Today USA Boxing is all about. Shout out to Rick Glaser. Shout out to the Freeway Ricky Ross. Shout out to again, and I'm gonna tell you guys something. I don't receive $1 from Rick Glaser. I don't get paid a coin from Freeway Ricky Ross. I don't get paid $1 from Kid Austin or anybody who Sugar Hill Stewart, who was on the show. Anybody you've seen on this show. I don't get paid anything for them. And I have no reason to cap for nobody. I'm gonna call it the way I see it. Shout out to my main man Mark Nash for dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Mark Nash said, great show. 10 people match my donations to support the show. I appreciate that, Mark. I appreciate that. Jake the Snake. Canelo got to fight all of these guys, but then when it comes to Jamal Charlo, he ain't got to fight nobody. Everybody at the PBC sitting there waiting to fight Canelo. Because he the cash cow boxer. Whether you like him or not, it is what it is. Whether I like it or not, it is what it is. But when it comes to your fighter, I gotta hear shit like this.
I'm sorry?
160 is my weight division. I want to unify. I want to get Golovkin in the ring. I want to bring him to Houston. You know what I'm saying? I want to get Canelo out here to Houston. If they really to come down to 160, this is my weight division.
I gotta hear this shit. But let's go ahead and break y'all off with these commandments. Right now, no one is called in. Let me do this. Let me move this out of the way because I want everybody to see this. If you're new to the channel and you subscribe, you need to understand the rules of engagement because this might be the channel for you, or this might not be the channel for you. We don't like fanboys at New Media Today USA Boxing. I do everything in my power to purge the fanboys from my channel, even to the point to where I even insult them to make them just go away. Right? Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Now, as I was saying, shout out to Carl Hansen for dropping that $7.99. Bam! Super chat on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He said, Coach, the 16 commanders need to be on the shirt, bro. Yeah, we're going to do that. That would be the stickiest of the icky. Yeah, we're going to do that. Let's go ahead and get to this. So now, this might not be the channel for you. You might like channels who like to push narratives. You might like channels who like to race bait. But let me get into this. Let me get into this right now. So now, he say Maul has been a Canelo fanboy lately. You know, but I do believe that they should have fought one another when they were all in the same weight class. They can still fight each other now. Here we go right here, though. This is called the 16 Commandments from the Holy Book of the Boxing Gods. If you are a subscriber over here, these are the rules of engagement of subscribership. Number one, now we look like some fanboys is leaving. They kicking rocks now. They don't want to hear this, but I got to break it off to you. Number one, thou shalt not pick up the cherries if you are an elite fighter. That's the one rule I have for the fighters. If you're an elite fighter, you should be fighting other elite fighters. That's what I have for fighters. Number two, thou shalt not fanboyeth for any fighter. That's commandment number 2. So if you are a fanboy of any fighter currently walking today, we talking about the current fighters, guess what? You are in violation of commandment number 2. Shout out to the queen, Miss Fit.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
So the queen says, commandments reading in session. My favorite line. These boys taking the easy matches, fighting other boys.
But this ball been taking the easy matches, fighting other balls.
Hey, the queen said that's her favorite line. Okay, let's do this. Let's see. Commandment number 4. Thou shalt not deride for any promotional company or promoter. Next to give, sir. You violate this rule every day you breathe on this planet Earth. You and the LDPC, not all of them, but the main ones that I talk about, the 3 leaders of the LDPC, the 3 or 4 guys, you guys violate, and your subscribers. A lot of your subscribers, y'all violate this rule every day of the week. You fanboys, some of you are L-sexuals, and you deride for the PBC, which is a white-owned company, and you're talking about we got to get behind the black man. It's a black-owned company. No. The white folks who finance the company are the ones who control the company. So we're not going to play these crackhead games. Let's continue. Now, commandment number 4, thou shalt not be a fanager or promoter of any fighter. I see quite a few fighters, quite a few YouTube channels doing this. Fanon in particular. Have nothing against Fanon. I think he's a phenomenal brother. But you do a whole lot of fanaging and promoting and your financial advising. You are the YouTube Al Haymon. Sir, with all due respect. Commandment number 5, thou shalt not pocket watches a fighter's money. You have a lot of these guys, well, my fighter makes such. He got a net worth for this. Your fighter ain't make no money in the last fight. You know, my fighter doing this. Your fighter can't be fighting. My fighter got more money than your fighter. Pocket watch. Okay, I ain't got no problem with you saying what your fighter made last year. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Saying what your fighter made, that was on public record. But when you use that as an excuse to prevent certain fights, that's when it becomes a problem. Let's continue. Commandment number 6, thou shalt not talk boxing without facts. The reason why I don't like fanboys do not talk boxing with facts. They talk boxing with emotions. They go by how they feel. Well, it's my favorite fighter. I don't care now because he kissing on other niggas' neck. I don't care now because he grinding on rappers' booty cheeks. I don't care now because, he hugged up with other people whispering in their ear. I don't care now because he's an alcoholic, he's drunk, allegedly, and then he got in an accident, drunk by himself on the road. I don't care now about none of that. I love him. That's why I hate you fanboys. Hate you with a passion. Commandment number 7, thou shalt not get too emotionally invested in a particular fighter. You fanboys are a prime example of this. You get too emotionally invested in a particular fighter. BFTB of the LDBC, sir, something is wrong with you. You break damn near all of these rules, sir. With all due respect, fanboy, aerosexual, you're a promoter. And you angry. You need some counseling, brother. You got anger issues. You do a whole lot of yelling and screaming and I see veins popping out your forehead in your shows, brother. You need some help. Okay? Come to the church. Reverend Abernathy will be here Sunday. Just come to the church on Sunday and we'll see can we put some oil on your forehead and maybe we can heal you and get rid of those fanboy, those wicked sins, wicked ways you have in you for a fanboyism. Maybe we can do that. A whole lot of y'all from these alphabet boy communities and Nancy, y'all come on over here and put some oil on your forehead. I ain't got no problem with you. I'm just saying, you're breaking a lot of these goddamn commandments. That's all I'm saying. Once again, commandment number 8, thou shalt not criticize a fighter for cherry picking when your favorite fighter is cherry picking. They say that Canelo be cherry picking. They say that, oh man, this fighter be cherry picking. That other fighter be cherry picking. He ain't fighting nobody. While ignoring the fact that the fighter that you're talking about, he ain't fighting no goddamn body. We believe in working smarter, not harder. We have a plethora of fighters that Tank Davis can fight over here with the PPV and Mayweather Promotions. We're like one big happy family. We believe in working smarter, not harder. If you hear anybody say they believe in working smarter, not harder, working smarter, not harder means I believe in cherry picking and ducking. Cherry picking and ducking does not make good pay-per-view numbers. Just want to let you know that. The fans ain't stupid. The fans are not going to continue to walk down the yellow brick road of stupidity when it comes to these fights that you promoters are putting together. Let's continue. Commandment number 9, thou shalt not condone any elite fighter for ducking another fighter. Commandment number 10, thou shalt not speaketh of back-end money. We know from Rick Glaser that there's no such thing as back-end money. Basically, the fighter may get paid $2 million. And what happens is, okay, we're not going to put on the record that you got paid $2 million. We're going to put down that you got $750,000, right? And the other $1.25 million, we're gonna put that in some kind of account for you. You know, some kind of Roth account or Robbers account, escrow, whatever. However they do it. And what we're going to do, we're going to give you an allowance on that money. Because if you got some 7, 8, 9 baby mamas, you got lawsuits, you owe a lot of money. When you go to court, they're going to make your payments based on what your gross salary is. So we know what time it is, right? We know how that works. So there's no such thing as that. So for all you channels, Blue Blood Sports TV, for now, all you guys we're talking about, yeah, see, the PPC fighters, they get millions on the back end. You did not know what the hell you was talking about. And that's a gift. You did not know what the hell you was talking about. Care nothing about how many interviews you have, how many subscribers you have, how long you've been in the game, and who you know. Y'all was spitting lies and propaganda. I got to call it the way I see it, dog. Ain't no shade. This ain't no shade. This ain't no shade. This ain't no shade. Now, commandment number 11. Thou shalt not tweet it, shit it on Twitter for your favorite fighter. We don't want to see you having an undisputed boxing match on Twitter. Commandment number 12, thou shalt not threaten people on YouTube if they disagree with you. I have become a victim of threats. I don't get as many threats as I used to, but when I first started my YouTube channel, and then I went at the Alphabet Boys, I used to get a whole lot of threats from their subscribers. They said they had shooters. I had another YouTube channel. We ain't gonna say his name, but you know who he is. Light-skinned dude from South Central, saved from South Central. He moved to Memphis, Tennessee. He said he had shooters. They were gonna do this and that. Yada, 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 yada. Yeah, nigga, whatever. I told you guys, whatever beef that we had in 2021, that same beef carries on in 2022. If I didn't rock with you in 2021, and guess what? And you was going after me and I was going after you in 2021, guess what? The same rule still applies. And we was enemies last year, we still enemies this year. Ain't nothing changed. Let's continue. 2012, let's see, commandment number 12. No, commandment number 13, thou shalt not speak of undisputed if your favorite fighter has the French fries belt, aka better known as the franchise belt. I don't want to hear no shit about Teofimo Lopez was undisputed, and I don't want to hear no shit about George Kambosos, Killer Cam was undisputed. That's bullshit. He's not in the record books of being undisputed. Might be undisputed with Mauricio Suleiman, but outside of Mauricio Suleiman, that's about it. There's only 6 fighters in the history of boxing that has been undisputed in the 4-belt era. Number 1 is Bernard Hopkins. Number 2, Jermaine Taylor. Number 3, Terrence Crawford. Number 4, Alexander Usyk. Number 5, Josh Taylor. And number 6, Canelo Alvarez. You will not see Teofimo Lopez's name there. You will not see Kambosos' name there. I can promise you that. Commandment number 14. Thou shalt have permission to be a fanboy of an old school fighter only. This is the only exception to the rules. What are the examples of an old school fighter, coach? Muhammad Ali, you can be a fanboy of Muhammad Ali. Sugar Ray Robinson, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, you know what I mean? Simon Brown, Pernell Whitaker, you know, Azuma Nelson, Julio Cesar Chavez, hell, Oscar De La Hoya. You know, Floyd Mayweather. No, I might give you a pass to Floyd Mayweather. He's an old school fighter now. They just retired like 5 years ago. I'm still on the fence about that. I'm kind of on the fence about that. So we ain't gonna say Floyd right now. But the old school fighters, you know what I mean? Sonny Liston, Ken Norton, you know what I mean? Ron Lyles. That's the only exception to the rules. Commandment number 15, thou shalt not race bait to push a personal narrative. This is for you race baiting channels. Dante's Race Baiting Nation, Arky TV, LDBC, a whole lot of race baiting y'all been doing over the years. Boxing Nemo, let's see who else over there. Whole lot of those guys. Officer Drew Titan, Police Officer Drew Titan, BFTV, all you guys is just race baiting and race hustlers. But you ain't good at it though. You're not good at it. You should not race bait to push that personal narrative. You or your subscribers. So if you want to be a subscriber over here, these are the rules. And commandment number 16. Thou shalt not have a victimhood mentality and play the race card when you don't get your way. Let's repeat that. Commandment number 16. Thou shalt not have a victimhood mentality and play the race card when you do not get your way. A lot of you YouTube channels and a lot of you subscribers of these YouTube channels, this is what you do. When shit don't go your way, oh shit, the white man, oh goddamn, this is racism, this is this is that, yada yada yada, shit ain't working, shit ain't happening. They being racist towards Floyd. Nigga, Floyd Mayweather, when you get that kind of money that Floyd Mayweather, Al Haymon, and those guys have, Mauricio Suleiman, they don't see no goddamn color. The only color they see is green. They don't see skin color, they see green when you get that kind of money. Only the dudes at the bottom focus on that. Race hustling, race baiting is big money in America. They call me Coon, Uncle Tom, sellout, because I would not follow the script, the race baiting narrative. I was in the Nation of Islam for 25 years. I was a professional race hustler. There was none of you dudes more racist than me when it came to hating white folks. Thank God I woke up from that sick mentality 6 years ago. So if anybody know the race hustle game, it's me. I know you guys listen to Umar Johnson. I know you guys listen to Tariq Nasheed. I know you guys listen to Jason Black. I know you guys listen to Sinetta TV. I know you guys follow the conscious community. But you ain't good at it. You do not have the oratorical skills. You don't have the gift of gab. You do not have the linguistic gymnastics that it takes and the wit up here in order to pull something like that off. I told you guys, the old new media is out the door. I represent the new true media. We running these old crusty niggas off the block. Y'all had a good run, though. Y'all had a good run. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all had a good run, dog. Y'all did good. Y'all had a good run. Y'all was controlling the narrative for a long time. Guess what? You ain't controlling the narrative no more. You're not controlling the narrative no more. So these are the rules. These are the rules. And as you can see right here, thou shalt not violate any of these commandments under no circumstances. These are the commandments that all of our subscribers must believe in order to be a subscriber of this channel. If you have a problem with any of these commandments, please unsubscribe. We don't beg for we love new subscribers, and we love for our subscribers to subscribe and follow the sport of boxing. I'm looking for a unique group of subscribers. I'm not trying to get everybody to subscribe to this channel. I'm only looking for non-fanboy subscribers. Because all subscribers are not good subscribers. All money, not good money. You see what I'm saying? So I look at it like this here. If I can weed out the fanboys and only have a core of subscribership of good subscribers who love the sport of boxing more than they love a particular fighter, I'd rather rock with you 24/7, 7 days a week, twice on Sundays, than I will for a fanboy that I have to try to cater to in order to keep a subscribership. I give two fucks about a fanboy. I don't. And I mean that. I may ruffle some feathers with your favorite YouTube channel. I may get some more threats. I may be called names like Coon, Uncle Tom, Sellout. I do not care. I'm standing on my square. I'm standing on what I believe in. And guess what? I'm holding my flag high. And guess what? I'm going all out with what I believe in and stand for. And I mean that. I love the sport of boxing more than I love a particular fighter. I will encourage anyone to buy pay-per-views if you want to. But if you're not getting the fights if you're not getting the fights that we want or that you want, support the fight. Just don't buy it. No, I'm saying you can support the fight, just don't buy it. So Tim Smith, so the VP of communication at the PBC, I know that I would probably never get press credentials from the PBC. I give two fucks about your press credentials. I didn't start my YouTube channel for press credentials. I didn't start my YouTube channel to deride PBC, Top Rank, Matchroom, Queensberry. I don't give a damn about none of these promotional companies. You want to know why? I don't get no check from them. There's not a fighter in boxing that I get any money from. There's not a fighter promoter in boxing that I get favors from. I'm just being honest with you. I just want to keep it to the essence of what it is. I represent the people. I'm the people's champ. The people may not always agree with me. I'm not saying I'm always right, but you got to understand, I am consistent. Shout out to Boxing Logic. Hold on, guys. Shout out to Boxing Logic.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Boxing Logic say, do your MNFing thing, my G. Yeah, I appreciate that, Boxing Logic United, man. The brother, man, I really appreciate you, fam. I really do. I represent the people. of the sport of boxing. I don't represent fanboys. I don't represent promotional companies. I don't represent YouTube channels. They clicks their crews. I'm not a part of the LDBC. I'm not a part of any organization. I am a part of New Media Today USA Boxing. I am a part of everyone that's in this chat that's a fan of the sport of boxing. That's all I care about. If I hurt your favorite YouTube channel's feelings, I don't apologize. I mean every goddamn word I say. Guess what? I'm going to hurt some more feelings tomorrow. Tune in. This tomorrow show going to be fire. I'm going to hurt some more feelings tomorrow. I'm unapologetic, and I mean that. It is what it is, man. So I want to give everybody a round of applause. I really want to give everybody a round of applause. And I want to give a special shout out, man, to Freeway Ricky Ross. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We're going to try to get Jay Prince on the show. We're going to try to get James Prince on the show, Houston. He's a legend. I have a great deal of respect for that brother. I have a lot of love for Jay Prince. Shout out to Freeway Ricky Ross. Shout out to Rick Glaser. Salute to Mark Nash, Major Key Boxing. Salute to, who else we have on Retro Boxing and Documentaries, my brother Blood. Shout out to, who else we have? Julie's over there, Ring IQ. Shout out to all of the boxing content creators. It ain't nothing. Listen, bro, it is what it is with me. I call it the way I see it. That's it. But just understand when when you sneak this and say all kind of shit and send your subscribers come over here. I got something for them, dog. I'm telling them I'm very talented when it comes to the gift of gab. I am a professional troll. I told you guys that. I'm a professional troll. My troll game is at an all-time high. I have a master's degree in trolling. This is what I do. But I'm dead serious about the sport of boxing. I have no problem with no one trolling me. You can call me right now and call me, say whatever you want to say to me. I'm not going to trip. Because I talk a lot of shit. When you dish it, you got to know how to take it. You see what I'm saying? When you dish it, you got to know how to take it. So I'm not going to trip on that. Say what you want to say to me. I ain't got no problem with that. Guess what? Just say it and show up 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, that's it. It's that boy Coach Malachi Williams signing out. Let's give everybody OJ Juman style. Shout out to my brother Retro Boxing and Documentaries. Shout out to Akon in the building. Shout out to he said I can't super chat. Maybe you can all send the Cash App. Cash App $ New Media Today USA. Cash App right here at the bottom of the screen. $ New Media Today USA. Shout out to George. Salute to the Queen, Misfit. Salute to the Queen, Bless 365. Shout out to the Queen, Arlette. Salute to the Queen. Who else we have? Nick Rich. Shout out to the Queen, Lisa Bales. And Deborah Booker. Salute to you, Queen. Let's do this. PBC fanboy, the Queen, Little Green Eyes P. Shout out to Drummond for Life. Shout out to Chad Perez. Shout out to Mr. Knuckles. Salute to Major Key Boxing as well. Shout out to Deuce Trey in the building. Shout out to Peter Von Arts. Shout out to Paul Evans and Ava. Salute to Knockdown 305. Shout out to Vice. What's going on, fam? Shout out to let's see, man. Shout out to El Negro. What's going on, fam? Shout out to Robinson Rodriguez. Shout out to the Queen Bless 365. Shout out to who else we have in the building? Thomas Jones. Shout out to RJ. What's going on, fam? Shout out to Adam Beanie Smith with the lick read. Hendrix Love. What's going on? Shout out to who else we have? Harleen from the from the UK with the AK. Shout out to Boxing Logics United. Please subscribe, Myron over there, man. What's up, bro? Shout out to Chad Perez. Shout out to Mr. Knuckles. Shout out to Thomas Jones, Akon. Shout out to Smile Back If You're Ugly. Shout out to Ducky's Quack. Second Ducky Quack Quack. Shout out to my homeboy Shawty Big Nuts. Shout out to all my lives. Shout out to my homeboy Umbe and Pele. Let's see, man. What's going on? He say who is this? IB say IBLP. Nah, this ain't. I know this ain't him. He say makes me feel like I'm in church. Yeah. Salute to you. If I think you're a troll though. Shout out to Drummond for Life. Shout out to Mike Law. Shout out to RJ. Shout out to Edel Perez. Perez, what's going on? Let's see, man. Let's see. Yeah, Edel Perez. What's going on? What's going on, see? What's going on with you, Queen? Shout out to Carl Hansen. Fanboy Killer in the building. The Queen Nick Rich, Chad Perez. Shout out to Mini Mill. Let's see what else we got, man. Julio Guzman in the building. Eric, what's going on, fam? Eric, what's going on, fam? He say NOI for 25 years there. Yeah, NOI for 25 years. 25 years in the NOI. I was a lieutenant out of Mosque number 47. I was trained by my grandfather, Minister Abdul Kareem Muhammad. At one point in time, I had like 25, 26 men, soldiers up under me. My captain, not gonna say his last name, but my captain Keith. I was also, we learned a lot from trained by Captain Curtis Muhammad F5. He was a part of the top security team in Chicago. Musain down in Miami, Musain in BR, Captain Anthony down there in BR in Miami as well. A lot of the guys I've like, just me. I'll do Mr. Rockman. A lot of those guys, and then my mom. But can't forget about my mother, man. My mother, Betty Jean, was a Black Panther.
Hey, okay.
Shout out to Carl Henson. Shout out to Terry Corbett. Shout out to SP the Great. Shout out to Peter Barnard. Dragon Leg. What's going on, fam? I think I got everybody out there. ARC, damn, it's a whole lot of people. Shout out to True. Shout out to Alonzo So Amazing. Shout out to Carl Henson. Oh man, I'm gonna forget some people. Carl, man, bro, it's a million people here, man. God damn, bro. This is a tradition I do over here. I like to try to give everybody a shout out as much as I can. Shout out to Alice Corona, Easy Dimes, Big Hulk. Shout out to Mixed Boxing Guru. Let's see. He said, "Where did Mr. Rick Glaser go?" I was sitting here by Steve Kim. Yeah, man. Rick came on early, man. We had him on for about an hour and almost 2 hours. He was on the show. You missed it.
Hey, okay.
You can look at the replay of the show, though. Mr. Boxing Guru, you can look at the replay of the show. Oh, yeah, shout out to Steve Kim as well. I forgot about Steve Kim.
Hey, okay.
Some of the guys that I talk to and rock with, a lot of these quote-unquote pro-black guys who don't have black women at home, who support a company that's not a pro-black champ, a company that have that's really a white-owned company. Some of these fake pro-black channels, these guys don't like Rick Glaser. They say he's a racist, he's this, he's that, yada, 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 yada. These niggas play the race card very well. And it is what it is. If that's what you want to believe, I'm not here to cap for anybody. Believe what you want to believe. I want the goddamn, believe. What we want to do over here, we give everybody a fair shot over here. I don't care who it is. You come on the show, we're going to give you a fair shot. I'm not going to call nobody, have nobody call in and try to threaten you or none of that. You come on my show, you're going to get the utmost respect. That's what's going to happen over here. You ain't got to worry about getting threatened. Ain't nobody going to shoot you. We ain't got shooters. None of that. We don't do that over here. We're not gonna curse you out, call you bitch ass nigga. This ain't, we don't curse people out. We don't do none of that over here. This is not the Jerry Springer show over here. Shout out to the Queen Deborah Booker.
Hey, okay.
Let's see, man. Shout out to my brother Retro. Shout out to Boxing Logic United.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that quarter of a bam dub on your bizzard.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Shout out to Ronald Finkley, man. I forgot about my main man, Big Ron. He's my Boxing Logic said peace and pugilism to retro boxing, blood boxing. Major Keith, Thomas Jones, Lisa Bells, Ronald Finkley, and mostly you, champ. I appreciate that. I only share my money with my tribe. Yeah, man. I really appreciate the support, man. I really do, man. If I forgot you, boxing MMA 365. Man, if I forgot you, man, I'm sorry, boy. Nelly Content ENT. Other than that, man, that's it, man. Destin, DSEN, shout out to you. Other than that, that's it, man. It's that boy Coach Malachi Williams signing out. New Media Today, USA Boxing. I see you guys tomorrow, man. Steven Rivas, what's going on, fam? Eric, he's saying college. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I was like on personal. I was on personal security detail for Dr. Connor. Like literally, I was in a hotel with him. Walked with him step by step. Was on stage on the podium when he did a speaking engagement in Sarasota. This was back in 93, 94. I was like 19, 20 at the time. I came in young, 19, 20 at the time. I got fished in when I was 17. Yeah, about 19, 20 at the time. So up and down, right? So up and down. Hold on. We have a cash out we have to acknowledge. Shout out to Knockdown 305.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that 305. Bam! Cash out on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Yeah, man. So yeah. Khaled, but I can tell you some stories about Dr. Khaled. Shout out to Dragon Leg.
Hey, okay.
It is what it is, man. Other than that, this stuff boy Coach Malachi Williams signing out. New Media Today, USA Boxing Lake Show. Salute to you, fam. I see you guys tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know my motto, man. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Peace.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.